Okay, button is pressed. Says we are live.
Yo.
Yo,
What up,
yo.
boys?
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy. We live in Oregon, DJ.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Like
I'm all over the place.
the most
You never know
boring
where I'm
place
gonna be.
ever.
Give me
All
1
right.
second. I think this is showing in my living room right now.
Oh, really? Hey, 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 hey. Logan. Oh, Mile High. What do we got?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what's up, Mark? We also got the Keen Life in chat, Mile High.
What up, guys?
And everyone's probably out for like summer. Cause
Yeah, you
it's
know,
way more
it do
fun
be
to do things.
Saturday, do be the summer. It's
And-
FD on right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, is that where the other PD? Oh, wait, no. FD Monroe is in August, right?
Yeah, that's like in a couple, 2-3 weeks,
Yeah.
and I am going to that. So
I will not be going to that.
and then we have
Oh.
a comp the next day.
I'll be getting back back from Utah, and then all that stuff.
Are you going anywhere near the track there, the Justin Pollock track?
It's the one just in Ogden. Is that right?
I'm not. Yeah, I think
Like
that
North
sounds
Ogden?
right. I'm not too sure.
I'll be passing by it. I won't be like stopping by.
Mark says sunrise.
Sunrise RC. Oh, I saw the announcement for Basement RC posted by Mile
Oh.
High. I think
Interesting.
so. That'll be cool.
Interesting.
Oh, just north of Salt Lake City. Okay,
Oh, okay.
which is Ogden. Like,
Yes.
no,
Oh, it's TCRC is what it is.
Yeah. A lot of interesting comments coming from like the Salt Lake hobby shop too about. Well, unfortunately, it's I don't know. I see a lot of battle comments. Okay. RC Basement is his local hobby shop. Been working with Sid for almost 5 years now. Okay, so we knew that. I just don't think we ever saw like, well, we saw the basement. But anyway, so let me get my schedule pulled up here, and we're gonna start off with that. Actually, we're gonna wait. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the RC Drift Show podcast thing that we do. Who is Midnight Drifters? That's an interesting name I haven't seen here. What up? We talk about
I like the
RC
profile
drift.
picture.
What, DJ?
I said I like the profile picture.
You would like the profile picture. Man, you guys have no idea, or unless you were watching the stream, like DJ got like total what would you call it? It's not vengeance, justification, like I don't know. He was super happy. He was driving his RMX and podiumed and was like,
Oh,
RMXs are competitive.
I mean, we all already knew that. We've driven
Yeah, it was
with
just
DJ before, so he's beat me plenty of times. So
Okay, but real talk though, like, because the whole idea is like we know that RMX can be competitive, but how much more work did you have to do to get there?
probably way too much. Yeah, you cannot just buy this thing and go out and drive it and compete with it. You sure gotta buy some parts and put
I
them on
mean,
there.
can you do that with any car?
Buy parts
Well-
and put anything on
Well,
it.
I mean, everyone's chassis has come a long way, right? That is
So
on
the personal,
podiums, I would say, right?
right? The
So
personal.
it's not really a
route.
knock towards MST that he had to do that.
No,
I
not
would
at all.
say.
But it's basically only a transmission. Oh, excuse me, a transmission and a steering rack. Everything else is not.
Yeah,
And yeah, tuning adjustments, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
pretty much it.
Okay. All right. So if you're new, go ahead and do that like and subscribe thing. I'm going to go ahead and get the Discord thingamabobber up here, which we're getting a few new people here and there. So the idea here is that in the Discord, in the topics and ideas section, I've posted kind of like a conglomeration of pictures of the 3 new chassis, I guess, well, all of them, right? So we've got the associated DC-10, the Traxxas 4Tech Drift, and then the Sakura D6. Sakura Racing D6. Yeah.
Real quick, since we've brought all 3 of them up, which one of those is the most surprising to you?
I think Traxxas to me.
Right. I think so too.
Yeah.
Especially the timing, right?
Well, did you see my post in the Discord like the other day?
Mm-mm.
Like it was the Losi picture too.
I think that one's fake.
You think it's fake?
I think that's people just trolling. But kind of along the lines of what I told you before we started the show, I would not be surprised. Let's just say this: Horizon has a very good employee on their team that would make a killer chassis if he was allowed to. Let's say that.
Oh, that's hilarious. Knowing where that came from.
Yeah.
I just posted the Discord link. If you're not in the Discord, go ahead and join up. It's a fun place to be. It's a pretty chill, relaxed, and friendly community where good tips are given and a lot of knowledge is held. So,
Yes.
and we make fun of other people and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot of cool people hanging out in there too. I mean, Vittoria's in there. I mean,
Shane.
people from all over the world. Shane. all these
Aza,
people.
yep.
Good stuff.
So what is Mile High saying? When the RMX came out, I said Traxxas should have made the 4Tech Drifter, and it took them some years. And how? Oh my gosh. So, I guess, well, dang it. I want to, okay. Quick thing, Tandem Tuesdays, kind of a thing, kind of still a thing. Our next competition days are August 11th and September 8th. DS Racing LF3 tires are the competition spec tires. Do get yourself a pair. We don't know how reliable the stock source is at PDX.
I mean, yeah. So PDX is officially a DS dealer now, so that should help the situation. We can get them directly, but
Oh, sweet.
these are still a a lot of tracks and very recently have come online that are requiring that tire, so they are still catching up a bit to the sharp increase in demand that they have seen. So yeah, get them when you can. A lot of the times you can always get them at A-Main. That was the case for me this last week. So yeah, I mean, expect there to be tires at the track, but have a set at least, Yeah, but I think most of the people that needed to switch to that at least have one set by now.
Or had a set from previous, like from something else. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just checking audio level for the background music. Okay. And I'm hearing weird distortion in the background.
For who?
I don't know.
It's gotta be your setup, right?
It's my setup? Oh no.
I mean, you just have a lot going on. It's most likely yours.
I mean, there is a lot going around, but no, it's not my office. I can tell you that. August 2nd is S-Fest in Salem, so that'll be interesting. Do you have enough space in your Subaru?
So the deal with that is I actually I like an amateur double book myself, and I have some other family oriented stuff that's going on that weekend. So I'm going to be passing that off to Judd and Chris. Chris's car is entered in the show, so they will be taking the stuff down there and setting up the track. Shouldn't be an issue. I mean, those guys have been around plenty and helped out with plenty of tracks. So I mean, Judd just is.
Does Judd have a big rig?
I mean, he has his car. But
which
between
the trunk only fits his pit bag.
yeah, he'll be fine. But I think what Jake actually brings is like we're not actually using all that stuff, right? So the what we actually need to set up a track will fit in both of their cars, and it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it at all. It's still going to be an awesome track, polished concrete. I just won't be there.
Okay, Midnight Drifter's like lighting up chat right now. So let's see. We'll start here. Uses
younger guy,
Vortex.
so give him some slack, I guess.
Because they didn't have Vortex drift car. Yeah. Okay. Have you guys ever used Spectrum for a drift car? Way back in the day, like we're talking like 2010, like back in the days. And do you guys, Logan and DJ, know Mitch from Rolling Garage?
I do know Mitch. I was actually just chatting with him while we were doing the show like 2 minutes ago.
Judd, I can fit 2 totes in 2 pit bags. That's still not a lot. So what are you going to be bringing for track stuff then? Are you just going to do like a tape track?
It's some of Jake's stuff, so like a no-dig barrier around the outside, and then like the wood walls and the rock walls to do the track, some tape, call it good.
I mean, that's already like 3 bins.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm not hopeful for that.
I mean, 3 bins in 2 cars seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and drift cars and totes.
Well, Judd doesn't have to bring 5 chassis to the event.
Or yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on. October 4th, 5th, and 6th is Super G Worlds. Have you guys already? Well, so I know. Oh no, you're on the same team. Never mind.
You're also skipping a huge event. The biggest event. That's on August 23rd.
Oh, because it's not updated in my thing. Okay. Yeah. So August 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Yes.
Logan, tell us about it.
So yeah, we're doing. It is a little short notice this year. Obviously, there's a lot of like moving parts to this. We just got our tile. We weren't sure like when we could schedule it, and we want to do it this year, at least once for sure. So it is happening this year, August 23rd through the 25th at PDX. We're doing a huge 3-day Matsuri. We're going to be open very late hours. We have giveaway, games, prizes, all the stuff you expect. It's going to be a good hang. We have obviously Team Associated is a title sponsor, so they are donating a DC-10, so you can win a DC-10. We got Beast Mode, AccuVance, 1UP Racing, and probably more to come, I would guess. Beast Mode's donating a chassis of your choice. AccuVance threw in a Rad and some other like Shibata and Edition stuff. And then 1UP Racing is going to be providing. We haven't ironed out exactly what yet, but they committed $150 worth of product. So some titanium screws and stuff like that. Bullet connectors and all the cool stuff that 1UP makes. And then it's just going to be a 3-day awesome event. We got for sure some awesome drivers coming out. So I think people I would put in the very certain, well, obviously Jordan Myers from Rolling Garage is definitely coming. He's gonna be staying with me. Then we got Adam Hokoki, who just got 8th place or so. I forget how far he went. Pretty far.
Who will be on the show this Thursday, right?
He will also be on the show this Thursday. Yeah, Jordan and Adam will be on the show before the event. But so Adam will be coming out. Vittorio is like a maybe right now, I would say, but he's trying to make it. I know we got other guys from Rolling Garage, hoping to get some people from Arizona. We'll see what happens. Justin Wilming should be coming, and obviously a bunch of people from Seattle. I know the Canadian guys are coming out. Josh and Sonny, or not Sonny actually, but Josh and Ray and all those guys.
Right on.
So it's gonna be a sick event. Obviously this year short notice, but next year we want to really blow it up big, get everybody out, because it is, I think, our track is it's up there as far as tracks in the United States. So,
So
something for everyone to experience and get out of the heat.
Are we gonna go as big as Matsuri scale? Like have a driver photo and like the official invite?
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, we have people in mind that are guest drivers. A lot of the guys that I had just mentioned. We'll like announce that officially on the
Sorry.
Instagrams and stuff like that.
I guess I put that wrong because I think Matsuri basically did a guest driver picture for everyone that was coming. I think, or at least that's what it felt like. They had a lot of
Yeah, I don't think I can do that for everyone because I'm doing all this kind of promotion stuff on my own free time, but there's definitely a handful of people that are like special that are coming for sure that we'll do that for.
Especially.
Also, Charlie's coming from LA, our boy. We miss him.
our spy.
Yeah, our Super G spy.
Can we still call him a spy? I think he's kind of converted.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. They might be wise to that whole game plan already.
Okay. Do you guys also know Carl from Rolling Garage?
Yes.
See, the thing is that I don't know them because I didn't go down there.
Yeah.
I only know names. So,
I had kind of. We've obviously. Well, I guess you must have interacted with Mitch before, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is he the guy that does the
The videos, the long-haired guy. Yeah.
I
The other
don't know.
Futaba videos.
Yeah, I don't know.
That guy. But I mean, yeah. So I had actually talked with Mitch before the trip, but we met all the owners down there at Rolling Garage, just 4 of them.
So Mark, multiple ways that you can do this. You can either talk to Logan, you can talk to me, about sponsoring the event.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook is just Logan Manier. Instagram, it's right there on the screen. Yeah, we're totally excited to have more sponsors. We want to make the giveaway really awesome. So
Logan
and
would be the
everybody-
more direct contact because he's closer to the track.
yes, I am. It's kind of like
You are the event.
I'm the event. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say it's fair to say. Also,
So you
already
lobbied
forgot.
to Akivance as well then?
I did not. Jordan Myers did that.
Oh, sick.
That was it was kind of a cool thing. Like I've been talking with Jordan off and on since we went down the Rolling Garage. I have a connection through James, who used to be a regular at Rolling Garage, and I had been telling them that we were probably planning an event, and out of the blue one day he just hit me up and was like, "Yo, I got Accuvance to sponsor your event." I was like, "Sick!" So that I assumed that meant that he was coming. And that was not the case. He wasn't going to be able to make it, but I went ahead and just got his flights for him, and he's going to stay with me. So
Nice.
get to bring Jordan out.
It's like you're coming whether you like it or not.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't going to let that happen.
Isn't that what we're doing with Charlie too?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie's flights for
You are
crowdfunding.
going to be coming. Okay. So 23rd, 24th, 25th of August. It'll be fun. It's
gonna
going
be
to be
awesome.
fun.
It's going to be a blast.
And hopefully we can find and have some like good food places ready to go. Or just like know who's going where, because that'll make it a lot easier.
We haven't made official plans for this yet, but I imagine we will try to sort out a hamburger situation like we've done at some of our comps.
Oh man. Okay, smash burgers. Smash burgers are amazing.
Uh-huh.
I was at the zoo the other day. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm totally off topic, but
Here
I was
we
at
go.
the zoo and I ordered a smash burger. And what they call a smash burger is like not. Like
Oh, that's sad.
It is sad. Because like the best part of a smash burger is like the crust from the burger itself. Anyways.
Yeah. RC Supremacy, not as of now. This is kind of the first big event that I've kind of put on. So I will definitely look into that, but as of right now, no.
Mark, this was just like a regular burger. It wasn't a smash burger by any sort. Anyway. Let's just hop into it. I'm gonna pull up some Discord pictures. I'm gonna pull up some stuff. got to firsthand hold and mess around with the DC-10. And my comments that I said like about it when it dropped is still basically a chassis from 10 years ago. But we'll get into it because it's not a negative review. There's hope. There's hope for the DC-10, and then we'll look into the other chassis as well. So let's pop these pictures up one by one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got some pretty cool features on it for
Which one are we talking about?
chassis.
DC-10. We're gonna start
Okay.
about DC-10 first. And let me see.
I don't know, in my opinion, I think it's kind of cool for those quick adjustments.
RC
But I
Supremacy.
could see things going wrong too.
RC Supremacy. One thing about Oregon hotels is that we are in Oregon, so pretty much anything might be cheaper anyways of what your normal rates are going for. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, for hotels, I would expect like 150 or so a night, maybe less.
What is the hotel that's nearby? Do we know?
Oh, let me look it up. There's
Isn't
a few
there-
hotels. I
Is
mean,
there
it's
a
just
Best Western or something?
yeah,
Sorry.
anywhere in
Something like
Beaverton
that?
is going to be fine.
Sorry guys, we're just doing minimal research before anything else happens.
Yeah, so there's a Best Western up on Canyon that's showing 120. There's a Motel 6 in closer to Beaverton that's showing 100. So there's some cheaper options. There's some more expensive options, kind of up to you. Again, yeah, I agree. It would be nice to have the hookup with the hotel, and I will look into that. But you know, the event is like a month out at this point, so it is what it is. If we don't get a lot of out-of-state people this year, that's fine. Just because of when and how we had to schedule this, but next year,
I say we
Definitely.
go hit up a hotel and be like, hey, what would it take to have an RC event in your conference room?
yeah, that's a good idea. Obviously, there's a lot of off-road people that do that kind of thing. I think for us, the event is kind of centered around building PDX, so it's as a destination. So like doing it
I know.
not there wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. But
Anyway,
maybe the ice event we could do that.
the Uwajimaya Asian store
Wajimaya?
stuff. Yeah, Wajimaya is just down the road too.
Yep, plenty of good place to eat for sure.
Yep. The zoo is literally
Not
3
far at all.
miles away.
Yep.
Coming from the zoo over there was fine. It was
Yep.
easy.
Real
Lots of
fast.
tunnels. I'd never realized how many tunnels I would have gone under.
How many tunnels did you go through?
I think I went through 3.
What?
Yeah, 3 tunnels.
Crazy.
Anyway, back to DC-10.
Back to the show that we're on.
Sorry, guys. That's not what I wanted. Okay.
So I would say for me, like just right off the bat, I'm happy that Associated has not just kind of phoned it in. Like it does appear to me that they're like legitimately trying, which is good. Which I kind of can't say the same about the Traxxas entry.
Yeah. Okay, so I got to play with it. I got to drive it all of 3 laps because Kevin came up to me and was like, "Hey, you done with that? One of the racer guys wants to drive it, and then you can have it back."
Yeah.
Little did I know there was going to be many laps that were driven, and like half hour passed, and I was like, "Yeah."
This is another one where like last week I was like, I have no idea, and I was like, I had have driven it at that point, so that was a little tough last week to act like I had never seen or heard of it before. But
It's fine. NDAs are fun, right?
yeah, I mean, I didn't say anything, but
So okay. As far as chassis stiffness goes, like these are just some random notes that I wrote down.
Mhm.
Chassis stiffness is pretty much a medium high to high like flexibility,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's high. I would call it stiff.
It does not have any taco, and when I say taco, I mean
Yes,
this
because
way.
the front bulkhead extends much farther past where it would normally go, right?
And because it has like that full-on buggy design
Yeah,
of that
and
top bulkhead.
it's the horizontal upper deck too.
Now, even though I know that there are some building discrepancies on this kit, the pre-production kit, the tolerances and the fit of the kit were actually really, really well. Like there was no excessive like play between spacers or anything like that.
Time will tell to see what really happens when actual production units start getting shipped. I'm very curious to see the ball studs, because that was my biggest issue so far, is the ball studs are too bulky and they don't allow some of the arms to fully articulate.
Right. I don't think that there's going to be any difference between pre-production for what Kevin has. And
From what it sounds, that's what most people seem to think. Yeah.
Because it came in the production box.
Yeah.
Things that I do know is that pretty much a Yokomo diff is going to drop right in without any issues. So you can flip it to ball diff, you can flip it to whatever diff. That includes the X-ray diff. And there's foreshadowing going into from the X-ray diff as well from hearsay. I don't know if it's true or false. But if it is true, and if it is less than $80 for all of it, then that'll be cool. Did I ever tell you how much the X-ray diff? Yeah, we're talking about the AE chassis.
We are, Justin.
Yeah, the X-ray diff. So X-ray has an active diff, and they came out before Rhino Racing did. X-ray is a packed spider gears with a friction. It pushes out a friction ring. So it's cool. I bought one. In the end, with the friction plates that I wanted for it, it was like $160 for one diff.
Yeah. There you go. Now we can see who's Justin.
I mean, I knew who it was.
I did too. Everybody else needs to know.
Okay. So if it can fit Yokomo diff, that means it literally fits every diff.
Yeah, it's probably pretty common, but the gear diff is going to be liked by a lot of people too. So
gear diff. Honestly, the gear diff that was in it didn't feel bad. Like it was, if anything, it could have been a little bit looser, depending on what your driving style is. Yeah. And to be honest, I would probably trust an AE diff a little bit better than Yokomo diff.
I want to poll chat. Can I get a raise your hand if you're watching FD right now also?
Can you not start a poll?
No.
He just wants to see a bunch of emojis fly across the screen.
Stock setup is stiffer than ours. AE comes with a nice looking gear diff. It's a normal gear diff, and I bet you it's the same gear diff that comes in their buggies.
Yeah, I think that's what Kevin was saying. It's one of the 6.4 diff, I think is what it was. I'm not too sure.
But like I said, foreshadowing
anyway.
Or like words. There are words that another active diff might be in the market, and if it is, that'll be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think the way that Rhino Racing went about it is definitely unique to the market, but I do believe there's plenty of room for competition in that space. Like the Rhino Racing one is obviously like RPM based locking, right? So
they're all going to be RPM, centrifugal, just because of the design, right?
Yeah, with the springs, yeah, for sure. Those ones, that style is for sure, yeah.
Well, and even with the X-ray diff, right? Because it depends. It's the amount of blowout that those spider gears are giving to push against that pressure plate.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was, but.
Okie dokie. So let me switch the windows here. Okay. So here we have the front axle and the front hub carrier, which the front and the rear hub carriers are actually the same.
That's very interesting, right?
Which is also interesting. It is the fact that this is the same style that they have pretty much on their like recent and current buggies, right? That top piece of aluminum, so you can adjust the length of your rear camber arm, which is cool because now we can automatically add a KPI if we wanted to this, and we can also adjust that same location for the rear as well.
Yep, that is the KPI adjustment is like an advertised kind of deal on the chassis.
I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't the exact piece that they use on the buggy. Actually, DJ, do you know?
I'm assuming a piece for on the knuckle. Oh wait.
Right. Knuckles don't have trail, whereas typical buggies, I think, would have a trailing arm. As far as this goes, like from here, what we're seeing, the shocks feel okay. They're decent. What's the word, DJ?
I'm fairly certain. It looks pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, as both my I think B7 and the 6.4. I think they're probably the same exact piece.
For the front lower arm, I would say it's not the most low profile setup, and it also is the other thing I've seen that on is like an MST where you have the bolt going through the whole thing.
For the axle?
For the length of the lower arm.
Oh, yeah. So this is more of a traditional one, I would say. Like this is like old like MST style, wrap up neck style, which this is still the current thing that they do for the most part.
Yes.
The limiting factor here, from what Jake has found, is that these ball ends limit the droop.
Yes. The ball studs are the issue, right? If you look, you can see it in this picture, like how thick the neck is compared to what we would have from Yokomo or Rev D, where their neck is way thinner. We just simply don't need. I mean, it's a case of if they make buggies, we do not need the durability there for that. So. I think that's something that will that's probably a layup for them to adjust over time. In the meantime, I'd probably build that with just Yokomo ball studs.
Yeah, that is literally one of the easiest things that we can change out like immediately on this car. Does it need it? Not particularly. I do think that it has enough droop like right from the get-go. I didn't measure it, but there's a good amount of droop.
A whole lot, but it's there. Yeah.
It's not touring car, right? Which is what I would have imagined from like their design.
It's one of those things where it could be the case of like race car company is telling you that you don't need the droop, and we're just like not willing to listen. I don't know.
Justin wants to join in chat.
Bring him in, dude.
Should we let him?
Yeah, for sure.
Justin, if you want to hop on, let me send you the thing. That means I gotta change some things.
I know it's gonna blow up Adam's setup. We're gonna be on 6 different screens.
Well, no. If it's just voice, then that'll be fine. Hold on, I need to figure out which screen I want to copy the. Oh no, it's in chat, huh? In our chat, I can just pull that. Okay, Justin, I just sent you the link if you want it.
So, I didn't see a single acknowledgement even of me asking people if they were watching FD. That's kind of sad.
So let's try again. Thumbs up if you're watching FD. Okay.
You're allowed to have 2 streams open at the same time, by the way.
Right.
It wasn't a test.
Hey, Justin, you there?
Not quite.
I cannot hear you. I'm sure he'll figure it out.
It was using the wrong mic.
There he is.
There he is.
All right, we got you now, Justin.
Judd didn't reply because FD was on. Go figure.
Justin, are you watching FD also?
No, I haven't even watched the seeding yet, so I was waiting.
Oh, jeez. So you're just waiting. I got you. That makes sense. I think a lot of people end up watching it like after the fact.
I like it that way. I get to skip through the bits. Like
Yeah.
with watching F1, when there's a red flag, I can just skip.
Right.
My issue with F1 is like in the morning on Sundays, I like to have like all the different screens open, like the track map and like
Yeah.
some of the data stuff, so I can see like where pits need to happen, and that gets annoying because you have to like sync it all up. It's
Yeah.
like if you have to go to the bathroom, you have to come back and like reset all your screens.
I don't bother with putting all the stats up. I just kind of take a gas handle, watch the announcements.
Yeah, it gets if you're like really paying attention to pit stop stuff and things like that, it's hard to like really understand what's going on if you
Absolutely.
can't see where people are on the track and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna try to grab a video, but yeah, that's not gonna work. Sorry, video for Justin, but something's wrong with my 4-person layout too.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we're not gonna worry about that. Comments so far, Justin, about this?
So far, overall, I think it looks pretty decent. They definitely actually did some research with people who know what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
One
Like
thing,
they're coming at it from a place that looks like they have some genuine knowledge.
I
Yeah.
still feel that it came from 10 years ago, but anyway,
It is kind of an outdated-ish design, but it is a very solid design.
It kind of ties into what I was saying, right? Like they are trying. It's clear that they are trying, right? Like it wasn't a money grab or anything like that. Like in my eyes, like as I've come up through RC stuff, Associated is they make race cars, so like they're not gonna make some weird like cash grab drift chassis. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it with a legitimate effort, and it's clear that is the case here. I mean, yeah, some of the design stuff is whatever. It's not the most current thing.
It's not like innovative.
Yeah, not terribly innovative, but honestly, like I don't think
It
it would even really be their place to innovate right now. I kind of see this whole idea of just like get our foot in the door, start figuring things out, and then we can do the innovation stuff later.
Put something very solid out, and then get better bits for it going, because that's
Yeah.
what they do with the like their buggy series. Like they have the B6, and then they come out with the B6.1, which is just a few upgrades and differences.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can just buy the different parts and upgrade yours individually.
Yeah.
They'll
yeah,
probably
I
do
think-
like that.
I was talking with Adam too. Like Mitch from Rolling Garage made a really great point to me, which was just like it's hard to design a drift chassis today and not be like and it's hard to not just like do what everybody else is doing, right? Like the design is pretty well fleshed out as far as having like the style of suspension or the steering. It's
Yeah.
like these are things that are pretty well known of what is kind of the best way to do that right now. So to have done what they've done, it's not a direct clone of anything. It is obviously there are ideas that we have seen before, but it's not just like a copy paste situation, which is nice.
No, yeah, they took inspiration from a place of genuine performance. Like if you look at the buggies, again referencing those between the brands, they look almost the same unless you start looking at details and know what you're looking for. Because they figured out the solution.
Yes.
Okay.
What works is kind of known at this point, and obviously innovation should never stop. But like I said, it's a safe, like we can get something out there that is not completely garbage and
Mhm.
and have people take it seriously. I think would be, kind of their mindset.
Just watch out of sake of just trying something to be different. It's gonna be like a vertically mounted motor transverse to the chassis. Well, like
Nah.
so it'll be like a helicopter.
I was
Straight
actually
up.
about to say a lot of other like smaller brand things or whatever that I've seen put something out. They try to be really innovative about it and make something really different, but then it doesn't end up being actually kind of good enough for a lot of people to want it.
Now
Hey,
that you
Elliot.
said that,
Like there's a like RC Express to bring up one specifically.
hmm
now that
Like,
you said
there
that,
was
I'm-
nothing bad about it, but it had innovations, but they weren't. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough.
Speaking of innovation, I don't know if Jake did this, but right here, if you take a look at it, there is a notch there. Now, I will say that
That's good, nice.
higher
I-
offset wheels or a bigger hex would already benefit this car, like right from the get-go.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there is scrub radius to be concerned about, but that, I mean, just seeing that, I'll tell you, I don't think Jake did that, so that's pretty good, right? Like they're aware that 60 degrees of angle is probably not enough.
I think Traxxas they have some kind of anti-spin system or something.
Okay.
It
Well,
does look like a solid just asphalt bashing into shit.
Yes.
I want to take one step back and say I do think, because Adam said a vertically mounted motor, and now I'm thinking like a fan car, like a Chaparral fan car that sucks the car down to the track would kind of be cool.
No, yeah, we could use plastic skirts. It's not illegal. There's nothing saying we can't do it yet.
And our track is P-tile. We'd have all the grip in the world.
Yeah,
Mhm.
let's do it.
No one says
Let's
we
make
can't
it illegal.
yet. Exactly. Someone's got to be the reason.
But well, I mean, our purpose is to slide, right?
We can still go faster with it.
Slide
though.
fast as fuck, boy.
Right.
Turn it off when you got to chase.
Yeah,
so-
exactly.
Just turn it on when you lead.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
What's that noise? Oh, nothing.
Sorry.
That's just the standard, ESC fan.
Okay, this picture right here, I think, is probably my best picture that describes this. I don't know how much tuning Jake did on this, but right here,
lot.
only turning right has a little bit of toe in, like at this 45-degree angle here.
Yeah, I don't know when this picture was taken.
I'm not going
Yesterday.
to lie, though.
It was taken yesterday.
I'm not going to lie. It's hard to take when you have your toe really close. From a lot of camera angles, it ends up looking toed in.
That's why I tried a few different pictures, right?
And it's also like at full it's there's no compression in the suspension whatsoever, right? So
Yeah, there's no compression for sure, because the outside wheel normally always has more bump steer.
So I'm
Sure.
only saying this because I saw it in person. I know, and Jake pointed it out too, that there is toe in, and it's only pointing right. If you go through the steering arc to the left, it's perfectly fine.
yeah.
Bell crank
So that- I
steering
mean,
problems.
We all have encountered the scenario of like I used a digital caliper to measure all of my links and I still have unbalanced toe or camber,
Mhm.
right?
Midnight Drifters. Do any of us guys have a MST or Yokomo?
Yes.
I have both.
Yeah, I've got both.
No, but I have run Yokomo suspension.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie though, Logan, I just eyeball it. Like if you just hold them together, you can see the lengths. I put them on like a 2 mil Allen wrench, so I know they're in the same spot, and then you can just eyeball them.
Yeah. I kind of just, especially for toe, it's just like a feel thing. I mean, I do measure my toe links because I feel like at least that gets me closer to being the same. But Yeah, like the rest of it, I just kind of measure both sides. If they're not the same length, it is what it is. If the alignment measures out how
That's
I'm
good.
expecting, then that's good.
Yeah,
Now-
and then you can. I always adjust them the same length. Because if you just turn the Allen wrench to the table and then put it back on in the same place, you can count
Yes.
the turns and get
Yep.
the same adjustment.
Yeah. So when I do a toe adjustment, I will take my wrench, put it at like I'll do. I mean, for toe, like you can do 1/8 of a turn at a time. So yeah, I'll put my wrench at a spot, be like, okay, 1/8 of a turn. Do the same thing on the other side. I'll never check it. It usually works out pretty close.
So we've got Elliot saying that toe isn't an issue, and for the most part, it's not. But inherently, now, this chassis, when you have too much throttle applied for the way that it's tuned, mind you, it's tuned for Kevin. It's tuned
Yes.
for a buggy racer right now.
Yes.
So for me, the car feels abnormally numb driving at his gyro level, and it's very slow to transition. It's very forgiving,
Yes.
except when you give it too much gas.
Yes.
Sean Lewis Media in the house.
What up, Sean?
The one thing that Traxxas and Associated will do is bring diehard racers and bashers a little bit closer to RC Drift with these releases. 100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think when we start talking about the Traxxas, I'll dive in a little bit more onto my opinion of that. But yeah, I think generally, I agree with that.
It is a very solid chassis for anyone to buy at that price range.
I think, yeah. So my take on the DC-10 is like it's fine. It'll do everything you need it to do. You can tune it. It's going to be fine. It's so hard to call something the best or the worst chassis, but there's certainly chassis where it's like this is adjustable enough that you can do with it what anybody else is doing. You know, your MSTs, your YD2s, your RDX, all of those things are capable of doing what you want.
So
And I would put the DC-10 in that group.
here's how you know when people are being absolute, like, completely off the rails, is when Steve Fujita has to make a comment on it. Like, and not just a comment, but like a book comment. So here's his response, or at least the last sentence or near the end of it. But he says, "For now, I want to see how well they drive. If need be, can we make them perform well enough to play with the big boys? There is undoubtedly going to be a good amount of new guys showing up with them. How are they received will be their first taste of RC Drift scene."
Yeah, that ties into kind of my thoughts on one of these. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Steve on that for sure.
I think it's really interesting to see like how we talk to like on this stream, and everyone is literally like Drift community is best community as far as like RC goes, right?
Yeah,
And then to see all the nonsense that happens in the chats.
yeah. I think I'm probably I keep showing my cards too much, but I think in one case it's semi-warranted, and in another case it's not.
As long as it doesn't get to the elitism, like there have already been a few shops, one that I know of for sure, that had that kind of elitism in mind. And if you didn't have the right parts, or if you didn't go there to like spend a certain amount of money, then it's kind of like, no, you don't belong here. And it
Yeah.
it
That,
sucks.
I mean, anyone that cares about stuff like that is not really, in my head, they're not a part of the community. They're not actually welcome to me. Like that is there's no place for that in this sport. It's never been about money. It's about skill. Drive what you got and let me see how that works out.
Hey you guys, this is the transmission, so high motor mount. It can also go low, which would push the battery forward a bit. But what can we do here? Because we basically have a lockout for a racing buggy here, right?
Yeah, the spur gear is
that's
tough.
that's just a straight up spur gear that I put in my
So I know that Rob Nick has done this already. But do you think if we just put like a B7, B6-4 shaft in there, we'll just be able to put a spur gear, slipper clutch in there?
A slipper.
Probably.
But I have no
totally
idea.
believe that, Mile. And I know that's also true because that's what Yokomo did for the Buddy 2 originally. It was such a good idea. Now everyone's doing it. So AE is like, cool, we don't have to do much work either.
Yep. Oh, the whole idea of just taking their YZ2, like that transmission, and adapting.
Yeah, how the YD2 originally was just almost basically a buggy, but with lighter and smaller sized arms.
Yeah.
Design.
I mean, realistically, like, you do not need to redesign a transmission for a drift car, right? Like, transmission is a transmission. It's got one job.
With how we drive, though, it does need to be able to handle a lot of them. A decent bit of torque
like
and a
durability
lot of
for
RPM.
sure, but as
Lot
far
of
as
RPM.
like what it does, it's just gears in a plastic case. It doesn't have to have any other features than taking the motor power and putting it to the wheels.
The magnets are just stacked in the front, y'all. It's not any of us that's doing it. It's just how the body fits.
I mean,
Oh,
longer screws and
the
well, I guess
magnets
you just need
getting
to
roasted
stand out.
already, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, hey, I told you guys this is gonna be basically roast my rig for the 3.2 chassis.
Yeah, Elliot's
technically
right. The
aren't
body that's on this car is horrible.
Hey, I like my E30 body, okay?
No, the one that Elliot made.
Nah.
Oh, I don't even know what it is.
I thought it was a Tesla.
It's reminiscent of Tesla, yes.
The paint is excellent, exquisite. The body itself, it's too small.
Midnight Drifters, is this a DC-10? Yes, it is very much so a DC-10. Built by a racer.
Someone put me in contact with their guy so I can tell them to add trail to the front knuckles.
Trail to the what?
Front knuckles.
We know a guy.
Huh.
Sean can't even afford that many sets of magnets. Amazon, bro. Amazon. You can get like 100 for $20. Bearded Zombie, where the motor wire is going to the moon. Ha, yeah. Again, we didn't build this. So it's okay.
If it works,
Also,
it works. That's right.
Oddly relevant joke, because I was just showing off my Artemis Lego set.
Oh, I know, right? Not that yeah. Anyway, moving on. Sean,
Yeah.
what link do you need? We might be able to get you that link. I just don't know what link you're talking about. Okay, so this is actually really interesting and kind of a different take. Oh, to magnets. Okay, I will get you that, or I'll get you something.
Guy needs magnets, dude.
If you just search for like 12 millimeter like flat magnets. So I use like the 3 millimeter, 4 millimeter countersunk ones.
I have
then-
a link already.
Oh, perfect.
It's too long for me to post here. I don't know.
So these rear arms are swept forward,
Yes, they are.
right? So the application of where I think this came from, well, I kind of know that it derived from Buggy World too, but Overdose Galm, like
Yep.
that
Absolutely.
Takahiro was messing with the freestyle arms on the rear and basically doing the same exact thing. So it is supposed to promote forward drive by shifting the weight for where yeah, anyway, I don't know exactly how it works. But it's supposed to work, and honestly it wasn't a slow car on the track.
Nope.
They,
Jake,
yeah,
I drove with Jake. in my full comp spec MD2, and he was right on my door. It's not a slow car.
It has a handful to drive right now. That
Yeah.
is for sure.
I say that like I put very little weight as far as speed. Oh my god, Adam LZ just went over the wall almost. Sorry.
Nah.
I think I'm a huge proponent of speed as the driver, not the chassis. I think chassis have a very small role to play in that. So
You say that, but let me put like 1 millimeter of pro squat in the rear.
yeah, I mean, it's like we can all make a chassis fast, right?
Yeah.
Anything having like, a lot of chassis features. If the alignment is adjustable, it's going to be very hard to make a drift chassis that is like faster than what other people can bring, right?
Yeah, fair.
I want to point out that this chassis comes with a rear bumper, like an actual rear bumper, not a
That's pretty
diffuser,
sick. They were listening
just a
to
rear
me.
bumper.
I know they were listening to me.
And it's pretty solid. It's easy to grab, that is for sure. What I don't like about this is the rear shock tower. So to me, this is more reminiscent of like GOM geometry than anything else. It's a very, very narrow shock tower. There's not a lot of places to mount the hole or your top shock.
A lot of roll options at least, but not a lot of shock options.
Which for the rear shock tower, there will be plans.
Yeah,
I kid you not, there will be plans.
there's already plans. Lance is chomping at the bit. It is nice that they include a rear ESC option, right? Not always the case. And the rear bumper, like I said, I love the rear bumper. I hate the front bumper. You guys know me. But rear bumper is a good touch.
I like those kind of rear bumpers. Scoop the chassis on.
Yeah, a good way to grab it is all I'm asking for. The front bumper with all the foam, and I don't like the body mounts. Like that's the worst place to mount the body mounts, and it's just unnecessary whatsoever.
Pretty generic.
Yeah, just because a lot of people do it doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Nah.
I bet you though, if you were to use these inside holes, I don't know what they're for, like these holes. I bet you the Rev D, like rear body post would fit right into it.
Yeah, that is obviously weird, right? Like something is going on there. That's got to just be off of different platform or something. We'll see what actually comes in them.
Oh, hot take. Hold on. Hot take in chat. I need to get up there.
Oh,
Midnight
Yeah,
Drifters,
this
do you
is
want to
tough.
make your drift car faster? You need to put your ESC in the rear. I'm not for it.
yeah. I mean, maybe
Well,
in a straight
It will make you faster.
Yeah,
but
it
you
will
don't
make
need
you
to.
fast.
in a straight line, sure. Just real quick, shout out to LZ for doing a 50-50 to fakie with the drift car. That was
Nah.
Dang, I need to watch that.
I don't have any more monitors to watch that.
Just get a 4K TV, bro. It's
Mm.
obvious.
There's a 4K TV over there. There's a 4K monitor right here. There's a 4K monitor right here.
So what are you
There's
doing?
a
You got
1080p
plenty of
monitor
room.
right here.
You got plenty of room.
Hey, you're the reason, Logan. You are the reason.
But look how good I look. It's 1080p.
Anyway. Mile High. I'm not for it. I only have one rig with the ESC in the rear because it has all the FPV stuff in the center of the chassis.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
my overall consensus of this is that ESC in the rear can make your car go faster, sure, but in the end, it makes the chassis less fun to drive.
So I can break that down into like a definition, right? Like more rear bias will make the chassis faster in a straight line. but you obviously will sacrifice. I would say you're sacrificing drivability at that point. So it is true that the further back the weight bias is, the faster in a straight line the car will be, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be faster around the whole track. So for myself, I think for everybody, there's going to just be a weight bias that gives them what they're looking for, right? So if it's 60, 70, 65, whatever that is, it's not necessarily, it's kind of just like, I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, run ESC in front of the motor. That's the way to do it. No, find a weight balance that works for you and make your car do that. So if you want 70, then yeah, probably having the ESC in the rear is what you're going to have to do. But it's not about like where your ESC is. It's about where your weight balance is.
Elliot saying rear bias just needs a whole different tune to feel normal compared to a 50/50. Yeah, this statement in a whole, this is pretty much true. Like, you can make the car feel good no matter where your bias is, and as long as it fits your style, it doesn't matter. So we can say whatever we want on the stream. Whoever you talk to can say whatever they want, and as long as it fits your style, it will drive, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I always forget to do this, but like my brain is, I'm not fully comp only like our buddy Brett, but like my brain is always thinking from a competition aspect. So everything I say is kind of from that point of view. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like I said, your weight bias is kind of just it's an independent. It's a decision for you to make, and each driver will just tune their chassis to match their weight balance. It's not about what is forward, what is back, like rear ESC, front, forward battery. None of that is like, you don't have to follow rules of what people say to do. Just make your chassis weigh what you want it to weigh and how. It's not, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if someone asked me, like, should I run rear battery or forward battery? It's like, well, that's not really the right question.
One very minor aspect of this chassis, it does have a very simple yet very effective battery holding mechanism. Like, the battery it's not chunky like the Yokomo one, or the original YD2 one, right?
I mean, the MD2 one is insane. So yeah, that applies.
Yeah. Honestly, the best battery holder that I've ever used is the Yusakani one.
The best one that I ever use is one that I just figure out.
I mean, there's that too.
Just various random things that I make or print usually work better.
Let's see, Sean Lewis. Any recommendations for rear arm setup on my Shark? I want to start playing with the toe in and need rear blocks. Figured I would start upgrading the arms, Rhino parts, or Rev D stuff. Any thoughts?
I'd run the Rev D stuff.
I'm on Team Rev D as well.
If there was anything else I could recommend, it would be something else that works exactly like the Rev D ones.
Yeah, we have a lot of team members on Team PDX that are on a TK setup.
Doesn't even have to be TK block. It's just any of them.
Really, yeah. I have an MD2, so that's not, I don't get to play that game.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I didn't want an MD2 when I first saw it.
But as far as that goes, since you're coming from, or actually, Sean, what rear blocks do you have? Do you have D and E right now, or whatever Shark is, right? Which would probably be like 7 or 8s. I don't know. Hey, Justin, have you tried the 9s yet? The super long ones?
I run the old Yokomo ones. I'm on D and E for Yokomo.
Gotcha. My high motor Galm Yogi thing is running on number 9 toe blocks and 42 millimeter arms. It's interesting. Whatever sucks. whatever was stock on the RTR or YD2 I used to build my shark. So you probably have well shoot. Was it a YD2Z or was it something else? I bet you're on B and C blocks.
Either way, you want the adjustable ones if they aren't.
Mm-hmm. So if you were to do Rev D blocks, it'd be a 6 and a 7, and that would match the stock ones. Honestly, I'd probably just do 2 7 blocks, and then play with the amount of toe there. You'll get a bigger adjustment with the 6.
For Daniel, I would say no.
Is there anything holding back the SDT chassis back? No.
Not that I'm aware of at all in the slightest.
I think
drive's very good.
As far as like the Yokomo lineup, the SD2 is probably the one chassis you could buy and not do anything to for the longest.
Yeah.
PK is GOAT. It's also a different driving style. That is 100% sure. True. Okay. I think it's you, Logan. I think I'm just hearing the cars from whatever you're listening.
It's all muted.
It's all muted? Well, I don't know what it is then.
I'm not hearing anything. Is anybody else hearing anything?
I don't know. Whatever. Midnight Drifters. For my birthday, I might get an RDX or a YD2Z. One, don't get a YD2Z, get an RD 2.0.
Yep.
Yeah. Or the RDX.
Either. Doesn't matter.
Well, between RDX or RD 2.0, either one. Yeah. Don't get a YD2Z. If you are looking at a YD2Z, then you're looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, you're 2 generations old at that point.
Yeah. Well, that it's something wrong with it, but yeah.
No, I mean this car. I'm never gonna figure that out. But the car with the Team PDX body is the Z. That's what I started with. So
nice.
But yeah, just go RD2 at this point. It's way better.
Yep. And it has all of the like the better revisioned products, right?
Yep.
The shocks are better.
Yep.
Everything about it is better.
Yep.
I'm still old man EG. I'm still running my old Sakura D5S.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the show for you?
Yeah.
Hey, I really liked the D5. I only sold it because I didn't have 2 electronic sets and needed the money. If I could, I'd still have it.
I was interested in the D5 like when they came out because it was such a big departure from the D4. But that like Neil got one and I saw the amount of flex and deflection between the motor plate and the chassis. Like, no. No way. Midnight Drifters, isn't the YD2Z like an OG car? No. The OG car is the YD2 Plus. Not the E, not the S, not the SX, the Plus.
And everything after that is based on that car, right? Like it's the same platform.
Yeah, literally
Aside
everything
from
stayed the
MDs.
same.
Yeah.
And RD2 is leading the UK championship too. Right on.
Yeah, I mean
God, I
Go
forgot
ahead.
his name. I know his name. It starts with an R.
Wow, you guys in chat are amazing. Keeping up the conversation. Seems like Gulms are getting more popular lately. 100%. I was one of the
wonder
few
why.
SDs last year. Now they're about 15 to 20 in the SoCal region. Yeah, I wonder why. And don't get me wrong, Gulm is a great platform. Not for me platform, but it is a great platform. You said the RDX is better? Marginally. I say the RD 2.0 has more room to grow.
I mean, yeah, they both have plenty of options nowadays. It would be really hard to, I think, to earnestly say one is better than the other.
Yeah. My 2 cents in this is go find your nearest drift track. Go ask questions. Go ask to drive someone's car that has that chassis. that is the only way that you'll kind of get an idea instead of like having to like guess out of the black void of information that's out there.
The RDX comes with a pretty solid setup just out the box built into it.
It does. Absolutely, it does. I would just get whatever one's cheaper.
Well, absolutely, it's a lifestyle because you can't afford anything else.
Or you're too concerned about getting new, like the released parts, right? Because once they're gone for like a year before you can try to get them again.
I'll never be the guy that's into like the boutique stuff. Like, if it's hard to get it, that's a huge detractor for me. That's kind of why. I mean, I say, like, obviously there's not a lot of things going on with the MD2, but like, it's just, if it's hard to even buy stuff in the first place, then it's kind of a non-starter for me.
I've only had one thing bought from Bai, Max, and it was a Futaba CD700 servo.
Good deals on Bai. Our issue here is that you end up bidding against all your friends.
Right. Okay, to wrap it up here on the DC-10, you guys.
Yeah.
I
do have a lot to move on to.
Yeah, I'll be building one like within probably the next few weeks. Probably post it or do another video about it like when I get back from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jake's gonna be building one.
Yep.
And I know that we're already going to be working on parts for it. So
yep.
Eyes out, ears open. It'll be good.
Let's just really quickly get like a 5-word take from everybody in the show, starting with DJ on the DC-10. What do you think?
Oh gosh.
We made DJ talk. Oh shit.
Yeah,
We
you
broke
put me on
him.
blast. Oh shoot. I mean, I haven't really looked at it fully in depth, but I mean, I feel like it is a chassis that could have potential, but you're not going to see a lot of people running them. It's probably mainly going to be like those off-road guys and whatnot, or someone who just wants to try the chassis, pretty much. So
I would agree with that.
That's my 2 cents on it. Pretty much, they tried something, and yeah.
Keep in mind, you guys, this is only $300. Yeah.
Yep.
I would.
Yeah.
Like as much as it seems like it is, it's not that much of a chassis. Like
it's a lot of carbon fiber and aluminum parts for a $300 kit.
And
Yeah.
Very solid quality plastic. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
It's what they use for their buggies. Of course it is.
So
let's get your take, Adam. Just real quick, like headline opinion.
It's very associated.
Okay.
Like
all right.
as short as that is, it's
no.
Like the same
I think people
difference.
can take what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like the
Justin?
same difference between driving a Yokomo versus Associated, like from Buggy World. That's what I mean.
All right, Justin, what do you think?
Looks pretty decent.
Looks pretty deep. I think that's a very, I think that's high praise coming from Justin. So, yeah, mine, for me, yeah, they are definitely trying, and that's good.
And you, Logan?
Right.
Yeah, they're definitely trying. It's not, it can do what you want it to do. That would be my take. I would not be upset starting with that or anything like that.
Later, bearded zombie.
Just as
Either
good as anything else.
go to sleep or go to work, I guess. Maybe. I don't know which one.
Later, boy. Thanks for tuning in while you were here and for chatting. We appreciate it. All right, let's go to the next elephant in the room.
Which one do you want? Do you want the D6 or do you want the Traxxas?
Yeah. I mean, okay.
I vote D6.
We can go D6 next. I think D6 is kind of a meme, but yeah, we can just breeze over that real quick.
I did post something in topics and ideas that I got up today.
Yeah, I think ending on the Traxxas is good because I feel like that's the most controversial one.
Yeah.
No.
We'll start roast by rig with the Traxxas.
There you go.
No, Justin posted something controversial here. I guess it's not controversial.
Uh-oh.
Drilling your own piston holes.
Oh, yeah.
Got a 1.1 to 2 millimeter.
So at first glance, it's Yeah Racing, right? Which is a brand that is associated with low quality parts. But again, this honestly builds their credit in my head, because this is something that would be hard for the average driver in the United States to assemble, right? Like, to buy all of those drill bits would be very expensive because they're very specific sizes.
That's why Mile High got it for half off on Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, if you go out and buy the cheapest drill bit you can possibly find in all of those sizes, you're going to spend $100. Yeah. So the fact that this is $20, we're drilling through nylon or whatever. It's very easy to drill through.
Yeah, Amazon all day, bro.
You're gonna have even on Amazon, like, those drill bits are gonna be crazy.
No.
But
Sorry,
doing this many years ago is how I have the pistons in the drift car I still run today, with 3 holes drilled out to, I don't know what size, but I'm gonna start putting drill bits in it to see which size it is.
What I will say is that my 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 have all snapped.
yeah, that's a user error issue. But I mean, even that machined handle is like, for $20 is, with all those bits. Yeah, it's a really good deal. The issue I have, like, this is only one side of the equation for doing piston holes, like, accurately. So it does leave you, like, I think building a piston where the holes aren't, like, perfectly spaced is not ideal, because you're going to get uneven pressure, and it's going to want to jack your piston weird in the bore. So yeah, that's another issue that needs to be solved. But this is a crazy deal. At least that,
in buggies,
for sure.
So far in buggies, at least, that's not an issue in the slightest.
Yeah.
And it could either be because there's so much more force they push past it, or it just actually isn't an issue because they come with 2 holes on opposite sides. So then adding the 3rd hole, like I did today, that just goes on one side or the other. I can't make it even.
I mean, there is definitely obviously there's some room between the piston wall, or the piston and the wall of the bore of the cylinder. So it allows for a little bit of, cockeyedness. But I think kind of the main reason why I got onto this is because it would be very easy for them to provide a tool that made it so that you can drill them, like, kind of at least pretty close to accurate positioning.
Yeah. So did you know, I forgot who makes it. I think that I want to say Tamiya makes it, but Tamiya made, or whoever made it, right, made an actual vise, like a drill press vise thing.
Yes. So when I work in a place where we do have a CNC machine and some high tech tooling. So I was able, when I do drill my pistons out, I was able to make a fixture that with precision ground pins that basically I can put my pistons on there and lock them into a position, and then you just clock it the right way, drill the hole, move it on to the next one. So it makes it very easy to drill them all very symmetrically. And yeah, maybe that competitively is not the most important thing in the world, but for Racing, I feel like it would be pretty easy to provide such a tool. And maybe you bump that up to $25 or $30, and that would make it a lot more worthwhile. As far as, competitively, for them. But again, $20 for all those drill bits is already an insane deal.
So before we go on here, I feel like I guess we should try to answer this question. Well, kind of like Midnight Drifter's overall question as a whole. But he's asking right now, what would you guys think about the RMX? Do you think it's a good car? I don't know. DJ?
I guess this one falls right into my hands. In my opinion, and I will literally talk the honest truth about this chassis, it is a great starter chassis to get up and going, but if you do want to be competitive with it, you're going to be putting a lot of time, a lot of money into the chassis just to get it going. And then once you get it going, you're going to have to obviously tune it a lot more. Again, it is my chassis of choice right now just because I kind of have to use it. But there are other chassis out there that are a lot better than our RMX 2.0. And that's just my honest truth. And I have two of them, but yeah.
I had an RMX 2.0 when it was like still brand new for a bit.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I got almost what I wanted out of it. It kept getting top qualifier positions because it is just a smooth driving car. But I kept losing in battles to YD2s. And when I got a YD2 and put the exact same tune on the YD2, it was just better.
Was it kind of one of those things where it was like, oh, I should have done this a while ago?
Should have just got the YD2 in the first place, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is gonna that whole sentiment of this is where I should have started is going to become very important.
DJ, turn your chassis.
Talking about
this way.
Talking about
Yeah,
other chassis.
you.
Sorry.
But
it's not that bad, but it's pretty bad.
It's a thing where you have to think about the entry level and about the likelihood of you staying with the sport. But for me, I think probably a lot of people in our hobby will not get to the point in an RMX where the RMX is what is holding them back.
My RMX is probably sitting like at $1,600.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of my point. Like, if you're getting into it, it is a fine chassis to start with. It will do very well. It will take you very far. And if you do get to the point where that is the issue, the RMX itself is the issue, you're already going to be so invested and so willing to spend in the hobby that you'll get something else and it'll be fine. The issue is, I think for most people that start in RC drift, it's a question of, do they survive kind of the first wave of like struggling around the track and keeping up with everybody and even being able to drift at all. You know what I mean? Like, so many people, I can think of so many people, even at PDX in the year and a half that we've been there, that used to come a lot to the track. They would, these are people I see there every time, and I don't see them anymore. You know what I mean? And it's kind of because they never really went beyond that level. And the RMX is not a barrier in that sense. Like,
since we're doing RMX show off,
it's fine. The RMX is fine. Yeah, it is a war of attrition. Certain people are just not going to make it past that point. And those that do will be happy to buy a new chassis if they have an RMX and try something else. And also will probably do like what Lil Spleen did and turn the RMX into an absolute beast. So,
you know what's hilarious? I had never won a competition with my RMX. I had never won a competition with my YD2 Plus. I did win a competition with a Yokomo DP. Like, out of everything, a Yokomo DP.
This is what I'm saying. Like, the chassis it's not as important as a lot of people want to say.
Yes, absolutely.
FD light
you
module.
Can put Accuvance in anything.
It is.
Yeah,
it is
that's
there.
Yeah, that's my motor and ESC of choice right now.
Same.
Yeah, Rad Agile for myself. Which we will have a Rad ESC to give away at Drift to Death if you come.
What color is it? Do we know?
I don't know.
Just get a black one. probably.
It's already
Yeah.
been delivered.
Black,
Oh,
black is
well.
the safest.
The decision has already
Yeah.
been made. I would assume a black one.
Well, never mind.
Hopefully it's black.
I
Okay,
got a red one from California.
let's get on with it. Let's go back here. Okay,
Yeah. So D5 or D6.
3 Racing Sakura D6. So what do we got here? A lot of... Here we go. That's better.
Oh, it looks like a drift car, so that's good.
It
Right.
looks like a drift car.
Looks like it's probably pretty flexible. The chassis, I mean.
Well, so this is the carbon variant of it. It will be a plastic one.
Okay.
Let me... That was just the first picture that I
There's a
saw.
lot of front bulkhead going on, which I'm not a fan of. Seems unnecessary. And I don't like their magnet system.
Although their magnet system is very, like, strong.
I'm sure it works really good. It's just
Yeah, it does.
unnecessarily large.
It, like, rips your body apart.
Yeah,
I mean,
Unnecessary weight.
well, they did something different with the steering.
Oh, they're coming from the front. Hold on, let me
Maybe?
see.
Yeah, that's unusual.
It's still behind the axle.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, now I see it.
But it's
Jeez.
pushed really far forward.
The
Holy cow.
rack, yeah. I mean, it does look like an evolved D5, I would say.
But
Mm.
here, the thing about the D6 and all the news about the D6, right, is dealing with the transmission. So here, you can have a 4-gear transmission, which already the tolerances scare the crap out of me.
Yes. If you the
Whoa.
lineup of that is very concerning.
And it could have been so much tighter to the transmission, like the actual transmission case too.
Yeah.
And that kind of like it really does kill your rear ESC options.
What a weird ass. Okay,
Yeah, that's
active
insane,
tow.
actually.
Oh yeah, there is active tow on it too.
Okay.
Midnight Drifters, have you ever guys raced or driven the Red Cat RDS? Yes.
Yep. Just fine.
Is it there? Yeah, it's a chassis. Honestly, I would go DC-10 over Red Cat just because
Easily.
quality of parts.
Days.
Sean, that's very embarrassing. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
Oh no. So,
That's why I always go for the rear ESC mount.
so here we have a
for what?
4-gear transmission. We also have a belt transmission,
Okay.
which this has a belt
What?
tensioner. Thank goodness.
Yeah, but that's totally the other. Okay. I mean, yeah.
And
If you want to run a rear ESC on this chassis, you have to run the belt.
I mean, no. There's more ways that you can mount that the other gear.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but the 4-gear, with the 4-gear, you would have to run the ESC like super high.
Well, that's if you run a rear motor. You can flip the transmission too.
Okay.
And then there's this, which
Oh, that's a crazy rule, Justin.
It's because for the guys that put the car on and off the track. It makes them not have to reach under the car.
yeah,
That sounds very lazy.
that's going back to body posts.
That is a European rule from the. I'm pretty sure they brought it from like touring or buggy, or especially if they
Honestly,
brought it from
it-
Nitro.
it makes sense though, because if you know that you can't handle your car, or if you have to say that, like, you have to specially handle your car, then
Or if they got to figure out how to pick it up.
If you pick the
Yeah.
car up by the body and it doesn't come up, that who cares? Like,
Hey, not everybody knows how to quarter marshal with 2 hands, okay?
like, yeah, I
And
just can't
also,
imagine a world where like I would be like,
And
where
also, so no one has to go on track to retrieve a body in the competition because it's
Yeah.
securely attached.
So I don't have a lot of
that
like-
sounds lazy.
things to say about the D6 other than just speculation. And I can't get over how much that this has a belt tensioner. Like, it was
You
the
love
first...
it.
It was one of the questions that I had asked when the belt drive came out for the Shark. Where's the tensioner? Because belts stretch. And
Yeah.
all that I got was it's the perfect tension, which is fine. Like, honestly, I haven't had any problems with my Shark. I know that Jake has broken a handful of them, but elsewhere, like, I haven't broken a belt yet. I don't know.
They have E-Town. They have a quad gear belt and the ring pinion.
Yeah, but he's not wrong. I would have got rid of it too, because
Yeah,
there's no
fair.
benefit from it either.
Well, it's just straight worse in power delivery and transfer. Your life. Gotta make the power turn 2 times. That's no power loss.
Oh.
There's so much going on, and it's just like, why?
So I'm gonna go back to that first picture. Let me close them out. Here we go. Back to this one.
Look at the front. I mean, it's like, why? Why is there that much? Why is there 4 or 3 posts going down? I mean, look, they're listening to me and they didn't put a front bumper on there, but there does not need to be. It's just so much plastic for no reason.
It looks like the steering is attached to the upper, maybe.
Yeah.
Which
It
would
looks like you
explain
could
it.
step on the front of that car and it would be fine, which is cool, but not needed.
It's very RMX, I think, from the front.
Yeah, I'd just say it's RMXy, and then the RMXy and then the front uppers are big, really big.
And it is kind of like an MDT or MD
One.
inspired design, right? With the
Which-
not hinge pins.
It wasn't MD1 that did that. It was Galm that did that.
There you go.
Mhm.
It's worse though because I don't see any easily adjustable caster adjustment on this.
Right. Yeah.
Which-
maybe we're not seeing that, but it does not appear. Obviously. I don't know. And to me, this thing, it's like irrelevant. Like I don't care at all whatsoever. Just wouldn't even pay any attention.
So the plastic version I would imagine is still going to be like the budget car, right? No more than $150 depending on where you buy it from. So I would still venture that it is still a decent chassis to drive. Like,
Yeah.
as long as they fix like the whole deflection
What it?
in the motor
What is
plate.
this? Look at the crazy like boss on the lower rear arm. What is that for?
This thing,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Sway
Actually,
bar?
it could be for a sway bar. Like, it very legitimately could be for a sway bar.
Yeah, maybe.
The carbon is fun. Oh, Logan, your picture of your pit board and your MD2 on it is exactly the reason why you can't mix and match carbon.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I did notice that, but
At least it gives you contrast because
Yeah,
your
you could
full
at
chassis
least
is
see it.
normal.
I actually did think of you saying that when I took that picture. I was like, Adam's gonna love this.
Okay, let's move on to the thing.
The thing.
Now, I didn't paste
I'm gonna-
all of the pictures from Traxxas. I just posted the ones that I think that we could get like a little bit more enlightenment from it.
I'm gonna let you guys have some peace before I come back. And
Peace.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring chaos when I come back.
Oh. What does that even mean?
Oh gosh.
Okay, everybody. So this is the Traxxas 4Tech, which, if you already know by the design, it used to be it's typically a 4-wheel drive touring car, which is fine. It's fine. This design is also seen in TTO2. I wrote out the entire list, right? TTO2, HPI E10, Yokomo DP, Traxxas TC3, TC4, GRK. Yeah, like, it's not an unknown chassis concept, right? It's just we're not known and we're not familiar with Traxxas trying to get into this drift market. The closest that they've been into it has been like their rally, and then the like the mini slash VXL thing that had like a Ford Focus body on it. Yeah, I know that they were all-wheel drive, but at the same time, like that, you could still buy drift tires and just do the 4-wheel drive thing. So that's all that they had. Now they have this, and now, did I even grab the 60-degree picture?
That picture is very controversial. I think for their benefit, we can say it seems like pretty obvious that is not accurate.
Right.
Like you could get more angle off of it.
Right. And I think the problem that they have, just because of 60-degree angle, is measured because they don't have a wheel offset that can actually handle it.
Yeah. So, but this one photo alone, it just, to me, it's like we have no fucking clue what we're doing.
I mean,
like
it's actually not too bad. I mean, that steering rack honestly isn't too far off from Yokomo's style.
It's just, well, it is kind of weird in that it only, like, where it connects with the two is pretty wide, but like
the arms kind of look like the AE arms.
Yeah, I do. The one thing I'll say is I like the style of the, like, there's probably a lot less play in those in the rod ends.
They're going to be a lot stronger for running into it
because they're like a one-piece deal. It's not like you pop them on, you just unbolt them. There's probably no play in, like, a lot less play in those. But the fact that they included in the promotion a photo of their car limited to 60 degrees of angle, it just that tells me everything that I need to know, right? Like, this is what we're advertising is 60 degrees of angle. It's like, tell me you don't know what you're doing without telling me that you don't know what you're doing.
They're definitely not going for the market that we are in.
Yes, exactly. They are not trying to enter our world.
But it might lead people into it, which I'm okay with.
There are
that remains to be seen. Yeah, absolutely.
There's definitely a ton of things that are, like, just visually wrong with the chassis when we compare them to what we know today, right? Yeah. However, Traxxas versus Associated, I think Traxxas made the better solution for a steering rack, because at least it's facing the right way for the ball ends. This can at least get you easy Ackerman adjustment. And that's what I was going to bring up for the DC-10, but totally spaced it. If Associated had one more hole going towards the back of the steering rack, closer to the center of the chassis, it would have fixed the Ackerman problem. You can also fix Ackerman, like, by length of rod too, except I don't remember which direction that will take it. I think they're only getting 60 degrees just because they're using, like, 0 offset tires or wheels. And I know it seems like that seems to be like
I said, I think obviously when people get these in their hands, the car will get more than 60 degrees. But, like, from a marketing standpoint, to include that in your marketing materials, that you're proud to show that this car gets 60 degrees, it just, like I said, it just tells me everything I need to know. Like, you obviously do not. This product is not marketed towards us at all, in my opinion. Which is fine. That's fine. They will sell plenty of these, I'm sure. I'm just like, it's hard to take that, because the thing that I worry about, which is kind of what we discussed, is there is a period for new drivers where it's like the war of attrition. Are you going to come out the other side of this and be in this sport? And I feel like, this is what my first take that probably most of you saw on Facebook, was that this chassis, it could be a landmine for people entering, where they're not going to go beyond this chassis.
Parking lot bashing. Just
into our realm, right? Like, you could see us drifting at a car show, and then you go to the hobby shop and this is what they have, and then you drive it and it's fun. You go to put it down on the track at PDX and it's not going to perform at all close to what we're doing. So then it's like, do people that's the question, right? Can people take the hit of a $300 something chassis and then have something that is essentially
useless to the rest of the world?
Remains to be seen. Yeah, I mean, maybe people will figure it out, but from what we're looking at, most of that does not look compatible with what we do, right? The layout of the chassis is crazy. Everything's, you don't need, nobody uses a battery in that format.
Yes, they do.
Well,
GRK, man.
do they? But do they?
Yeah. Like, legitimately, they do.
I don't know anyone that has a battery.
Well, so
a long battery like that actually uses it.
Right, GRK would be using a shorty, and the layout is a little bit more central up front, right? But this is not a new layout. We've seen this layout time and time again.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as what we're using at a track, like, and the only redeeming quality of this is, like, obviously the ESC is weird, but the servo and gyro or receiver being in that box, we brought it up in the chat. Like, maybe we can turn this into like an ice racing thing, which would be fun.
Well, we were saying just like in the rain, outside in the parking lot in the rain. That's what we were saying.
I would like, but I'm thinking like, let's try to figure out how to do an ice setup. Let's build some studded tires, and this could be perfect for that.
Could you imagine like mini spike, like get track spikes?
Yeah, you'd have to
shoes.
You'd have to be very careful, and you'd have to like drill screws or something through the wheel, but that could be fun.
Yeah, Max, you're totally right. Adding 2 millimeters of scrub is gonna totally screw up that because of the bumper. There would be trimming needed, 100%.
Sean,
However,
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you, Sean.
However, at the same time, it is the Traxxas Easy Clip system.
That's cool.
You can hold your car up.
I think it's cool that there is now a current gen Mustang for people to use.
I don't
That's
like
cool.
it. Like, I'm all for Mustang, but I don't like it.
What's crazy is I don't necessarily like the look of the current car, but what they're doing, like IRL racing wise, and like even the Daytona like crazy track version is so sick.
Yeah,
and they're running Le Mans and all that stuff is so freaking cool to me.
The
new
GT3
RTR looks
car is
good.
awesome.
Yeah, the GTD is insane. I don't know if you guys caught that at Goodwood or anything, but that looks sick.
Yeah, I saw the GT3 car before they came out with the GTD road model.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember I would like the most excited I've been to come home and play Assetto was when they were announced that the GT3 car was free. I was like, yes.
Nice. Yeah. Also, I will say a lot of RC stores are kind of also starting to stock the MST and Yokomo RTRs. And if they hear about the Traxxas, they might start getting those too.
Don't ever buy the Yokomo RTR. Do
Yeah,
yourself
that's
a favor.
I mean, but I would say the same thing about this Traxxas car.
I mean, okay,
Like,
but
for the
but,
same reasons. Like
It's
you're,
better to buy than the Traxxas,
it is. Yeah, I would even agree with that.
I mean, fair.
and it is
Depending
a
on what you
chassis.
want to do, right?
That is fair, but if the whole point is like we're having troubles trying to get into the hobby because we're all so focused on trying to find a place indoor or that's smooth enough to drive, the Traxxas, you're not gonna have any feelings towards that at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
So this is the thing. Like, this is the question, right? Like, everyone, the biggest point of contention, I would say, is does this chassis bring more people into our sport?
I feel like if we're talking about our people, it's going to bring the wrong people, which, again, going back to the whole comment of we talk about drift community being the best, and yet here we're talking about this chassis kind of like dividing the playing field into a basher,
I mean, so
into a...
I there's a certain amount of ego that we do have, right? Because, like, yeah, it's cool. Our hobby is cool because it attracts cool people, right? I mean, that's, you can not agree with that, but that's kind of part of it, right? Like, we think we're cool. We do. We really do. And so when you have something like this that could potentially bring people that would not have been a part of that at first, what does that look like? So that's my biggest issue is this. Like, as I said, the it's already a challenging battle to get into the sport and survive your first few months, especially if you can't drive a lot. But if you do have a track locally to you and you show up with one of these cars, first of all, the first day,
You're gonna get the
probably
stink
gonna
eye
spend that
so
trying
bad.
to figure out how to drive it, which is fine. That's fair. And that will be fine. And there will probably be people that will help you. But after that, you're now going to be sitting there with the car where you're like, oh my God, this thing can't actually do anything that these people are doing.
So,
I mean, time will tell if it can be tuned into that.
so
but
the
I
other
think-
take on this, right? Because Lance and I were talking about it in the other chat, and how because of the software, right? Because of the the Traxxas Link software, that it could be even a better starting point, right? So
yeah, maybe that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're one of those people that would have gotten past the 5-hour mark of driving, then you know it is likely that this will be fine, right? Because it is probably going to be very easy to drive.
here's the unfortunate part, though, because the assist system that it uses is also limiting your throttle too.
JD 130, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, dude. I had him.
So
All right, sorry.
but yeah, so not only is your gyro in effect, right, but it can also limit power to your motor as well.
Yes.
So
Which is good.
I mean, but so one of the other comments that I made is like, cool, they can have it, but it'll completely, like, there's nothing that can be transferred over to a new chassis, right? Like, that is my biggest problem with it, is that you buy this chassis, you are stuck into this chassis, and nothing else will go with it. As far as like seeing it drive, like, Lance will have his like next week, I think. Next week or the week after, something like that.
Yeah,
so he'll be the one.
Yeah,
he'll be the one that's kind of
it's
doing our trial and
yeah.
error.
Like
tests.
I said, I think honestly, for what is clear, what their intention was, it's probably going to be great for what their intention was. Get people to buy cars because they're hopping on a very up and coming thing. You know, a lot of the RC people and people going into hobby shops are going to start to hear more and more about RC drifting, and it's going to become a thing for them. And this is my concern. Also, they're going to show up to your hobby town or your hobby lobby and they're gonna be like, "Yo, I'm into drifting. I want to try drifting, and this is what's gonna be sold to them." And so that's my concern, right? Because now I think you're taking that initial starting point. If you had bought a YD2 or an RD2, I should say, or an RMX, even a kit or an RTR, your starting point is going to be quite a bit lower than it was. So it just, in my mind, it's going to make that first kind of battle that I've been talking about a little bit harder, just a little bit harder. And again, the biggest question is, will the aftermarket end up supporting this chassis? I think probably not.
Oh, yes, they will. Oh my gosh, what is that?
Oh my god, DJ.
DJ.
Sorry. Yeah, it's my
yeah.
fan.
So
that's what it is. I'm trying to turn it down.
maybe they will. So then there is hope, at least, right? So there's that. But I would imagine if the modified version of this chassis will look very different from what is provided. So then it's a question of like, why go that route over anything else? But
So
then it's just, I think it's making the mountain that people have to climb when they start a little bit taller than it needs to be.
Yeah.
So they are going to have aftermarket parts. Like, you know that they're going to release all the aluminum parts. And everybody else who makes aluminum parts will make aluminum parts for it. But I feel like it's all the aluminum parts in the wrong places.
Yeah, I mean, just look at what they have to work with. I mean, I think like the front shocks are like the travel is so short.
Oh yeah, like there's nothing about this this chassis that actually tells me that it has a lot of movement going into it.
Yeah, you're certainly not going to make an LTS out of that thing.
Just wait. Just wait.
Yeah, until you bolt new shocks and a new shock tower on. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see this.
Seems like it's probably heavy as hell too.
I don't know about that. Oh, actually, what annoys me the most about this is
You could jump it though, so that's good.
You can jump it without feeling bad about it. This annoys the crap out of me. Whatever this CVD dog bone
like
thing.
My fucking old E10, just like the first chassis I ever built.
Yeah, this is straight up TTO2 like status right here.
I mean, so it's beefy. It'll hold together.
I would like to clarify, like, my stance is not. I don't want to like discourage any company from entering the drift scene, but it's just a matter. And I also don't believe with any certainty that this necessarily is a bad thing for our community. It's just my speculation is that could possibly be the case. It remains to be seen whether it's going to be a thing. Like I don't think anybody really knows if this chassis is a net negative or positive, right? It could be fine. It's just my speculation is that it doesn't bode well for bringing more people.
I mean, it won't bring people to the competition scene, right? And I think that's the biggest part of it. Like, and for the right reasons, right? Because
I mean, not everyone has to compete in RC drift, but you can't. If you bring one of these to the track for stock, I promise you, it's not going to do what you expect. I think a lot of people underestimate, like, drifting is only entertaining by yourself for a very short period of time, right? Once you get to a certain skill level, then it's really not fun. I don't necessarily, unless I'm practicing for a comp, like getting ready to do my qualifying, driving by myself is not fun, right? So
I mean,
that's kind of part of it.
The price point at the same time still doesn't bode very well either. $329, yes, for a brushed system is kind of odd to me.
And it's what, 20?
Huh?
Is 20 turn or what is the motor?
I don't remember. 21.
Yeah, so
which is fine, right?
Yeah.
Lonely Drivers Club.
You're gonna have to put a hell of opinion on that bad boy to come to our track, but yeah.
Oh,
It'd be fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are rumors, right? Of so Jake was talking about it, wanting to do outdoor parking lot box stock drift, with these things.
This literally would be the perfect thing to do that with, right?
yeah.
I don't know if this is actually better or worse than a TTO2. I feel like TTO2 has more
Oh, this is wrong.
competition. Like, there are more competitions with TTO2. Just because TTO2's been, like, around for forever.
I mean, yeah, for $700 we could buy 2 of these and just do a comp outside. That'd be pretty fun.
I mean, yeah. And their electronics are already waterproof, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's, yeah. MRC kit incoming for the Traxxas, but it's already rear-wheel drive. I think this will take us good places. It may not be for like the competition bound, but I do think that it's going to get people. So like when people come in and they look at drifting, I always hear that it's so cool, right? But then when you combat it with like, oh, this is gonna be like a $400 to $700 adventure for you, right?
Yes.
Then it's
Yes.
very off-putting, and it's very like, nah, I don't want a car that can only drive on a smooth surface indoors or like on a like finished.
Yeah,
concrete.
I mean, the biggest issue for me is just that it's not like if it was the price that it is and could also, chase people at our track or even lead, which I don't think it will be able to, then that would be fine. But like,
oh, just wait, Logan. Just wait. I kind of seriously mean that though. I don't think it'll be too far of I don't think it's too far fetched for this to like be there. It just needs a lot of work, right?
yeah,
So like immediate things that I can see needing to be happening is like a redevised front and rear shock towers. That's gonna help out a lot. I don't like the Traxxas eyelets. They annoy the crap out of me. You think that they're going to be less like play? No, there's just as much play because.
so yeah, if there's still a lot of play, then that's kind of pointless. But the whole idea of that design is that there's less play, so that you don't have to press them on. But or it only goes on one time.
like Active Hobby had them where it was like pressed in metal fittings, and those were cool. And I forget who has them now, but someone else has them on market too.
Yeah.
Better. Well, I don't know. I think that chopping the front bumper off to get more angle is going to be necessary too.
Oh yeah, you're gonna cut the piece off for sure. And also, it should be noted that the wheel and tire that they have on there is way larger than what we would actually run. But normal wheels and tires do fit.
And yeah, okay, Kenneth. I went to my first event with a TTO2D and immediately wanted to upgrade it, to be honest, so I can see where it. No, I totally get that, right?
That's
I
my whole
100%
thing.
under that. Yeah, I agree.
If you show up with a RD2 or an MST, it's not you need to buy an entirely new car, right? Like, if you have the RTR, yeah, you're gonna have to, change out the electronics, whatever. This is everything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, we'll see when I actually get to drive one. But from what I'm looking at, it's like, no, just buy something else versus, upgrading it.
But it has the software. It's got the cool phone software, the Traxxas Link. Oh, and it has a handbrake.
Worthless. Cool.
I don't know how many of you all saw that, but one of the
I
pictures,
saw the handbrake.
yeah,
I
that's
saw
featured is a third channel handbrake.
I promise you, because I've experimented with this myself, using the handbrake is extremely difficult.
Nah.
I'm kind like, I have so much disappointment in the whole hand. Okay, Logan, explain to me why a handbrake would be useful outside of the sense that we already have a handbrake.
Yes. So obviously, with the RC drift car, if you touch the brake on the trigger, there's no grip, so the tires will pretty much lock instantly. You can tune it way down. That's a whole different story. But basically, like, you already have a method of locking the brake pretty quickly. So to have it on a button on your receiver or in your transmitter, theoretically could be faster, right? And you could also theoretically, have a situation where you're like more instantaneously going from, you could hold the throttle where your finger is, touch the handbrake, lock the rear, let go, and immediately your throttle is at the same position, right? But unfortunately for humans, is we are really not capable of doing two things at once with two fingers. So yeah, you're just not. I mean, I've tried to. I still have it. On my 10PX, I have a button right on my thumb, right next to my trigger finger, and the button cuts the throttle. And the idea was, like, if I'm chasing, it would be a lot easier to adjust my speed just by tapping the button. The reality is that I can't really, like, comprehend using the button while I'm also focused so heavily on the trigger. As we all know, the trigger finger is very, very important, and it's a very fine motor skill that you're operating there. So having the e-brake where you have an instantaneous brake is really it's cool, but it's just not. It's not. In my opinion, in reality, it's not. There might be some crazy freak kids out there that can use it, but everyone that I've handed my controller to and said, "Hey, hit the button," and that's a little e-brake situation. Every single person has been like, "No, you can't really."
But you're using engine cut for that, right?
So it's very different from full brake, right? It's no throttle. It's not brake.
You can do it with, like,
yeah. But it's not what it does that is the issue here. It's just the fact of, like, getting yourself to actually, like, touch, like, just even getting your thumb to touch it is, like, not easy in any way.
Yeah. Ultimately, the Traxxas Link radios with the third channel, that's supposed to be used for nitro reverse. Like, that's what it originally is there for, right?
Yeah.
I don't see it being useful. I don't see it being easy.
Again, I don't doubt that some people would. There are aliens on this planet. I played enough Assetto to understand that. But yeah, there's very few people that will actually find use from that, I think, in my opinion.
Just watch. They'll drag cars have real front brakes, and they'll be able to power brake.
That also, yeah, my biggest roast for both the Associated and the Traxxas chassis is we do not need brake rotors and brake calipers. Please do not put that on our cars. It's not necessary. It's only a hassle.
The one on the DC-10 is just all black plastic.
Yeah.
Like, it's not painted.
Please don't. It's so annoying. It's just like, I just need... honestly, I don't know why on the front, like, all Yokomo cars on the front should come with what comes on the SD2, which is the adjustable front axle. Because the whole hex thing is just, like, such a waste of time.
I'm all for the Yokomo adjustable axles.
Yeah.
100%.
Imagine buying a car and it just fits whatever body you want to put on it because you can adjust the front width. The rear is a different story, obviously. Is what it is. At least a clamp on hex, because yeah, dealing with the stupid plastic hexes that fly off and you lose them, and I mean brake rotors that are rubbing on stuff and annoying.
Very much so. So that's that for all the chassis roasting stuff. I honestly, I'm still excited. I'm still very excited. It'll be interesting how my build with the DC-10 goes, and where I want to like just I'll build it to kit, and then we'll talk about how much it's messed up.
That's really what I'm waiting for. And Mitch was saying the same thing from Rolling Garage. Like, I think our community needs to hear from people that actually built it to spec, right? And then also from people that actually got to like tune it to how they want to drive it. I'm a lot more optimistic about that chassis than I am the Traxxas one.
I think my whole entire problem for marketing is the fact that Traxxas put out a way better marketing video than Associated did. Like, and we kind of know the backstory of Associated's video from Vittorio.
Yes.
How it was just like just them driving, right?
It was yeah. So the Associated video was Associated employees that probably don't drift driving. And
with Associated Electronics.
With Associated Electronics. The Traxxas video was just Vittorio and the gang. So you're talking Vittorio, Shane, Fortis, all the Roth, you guys, all the Super G team drivers driving those cars. And even then, even considering that that's who was driving, it's not like it looked super easy or great.
Whoa.
It was just better. Yeah, for sure.
And
but
anyone that's seen the PDX video of Kevin's car driving, or the Tesla looking thing.
Yeah, the one where I was driving worse than the Associated car.
So that was Jake driving, and still true that it looks like a handful to drive, like behind anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still there. So
every chassis is going to take a minute for anyone to get used to. The fact that Jake was on my door, like almost instantly, says all I need to hear, basically.
Keen Life, you are spot on. Because Traxxas has way more experience in getting the audience hype with a more up-tempo style ad. They are bashing brand for a reason. Totally. What is Sean saying? I feel Associated is currently run by a bunch of young guys that seem like a small team. Not
very
really
much the
sure
opposite, I would say.
Well, I mean,
certainly not young guys.
Not young.
Yeah, they constantly refer to it's Area 51 for their development place, right? Yeah. And yeah, just wait until we get to DC 10.5 or 10.7 or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's my thing is like, yeah, this is their first shot. They are a company, as you know, just look at the buggy market. They will release improvements as soon as they feel like they get to a point of like, yep, this is way better, they'll release another one. So it is what it is. I think, like I said, the Associated is a company that they're, Team Associated, not AE in general, but Team Associated. This company is focused on performance race vehocles, right? So they're not going to, it's not a basher. The DC-10 in their eyes is a competition vehicle, and their whole business plan is staying on top of the competition. So
I 100% mean like Andy's probably going to be on that team if there is ever an Associated drift driver.
Yeah, Andy's chassis is already on the way. So yeah, I mean,
okay, there you go.
I don't think they're necessarily looking to make a team, but I mean, obviously, a few people in the community have gotten,
Oh,
chassis and stuff. So
whoever can do with this thing with the chassis, I need to hook them with Kevin for RCO because he already thinking, yeah, we're gonna get that.
yeah, that is the challenge with I think with AE is they're very much less interested in building that kind of support or community. Like they want their products to run on the cars. So I think for anyone looking to get into that world, that will be a challenge of like what
it's going to happen.
Of
Regardless.
course, yeah,
They
absolutely.
might as well support
Yeah.
it.
It would be nice if all companies thought that way. Absolutely.
The Keen Life. I can say that AE team is normally a legacy building style of team. The experienced old guys bring in the young talent to nurture them into phenomenal drivers. Yeah, without the old, there is no new.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The only issue here is that it's they are kind of starting with almost no knowledge, right? Like it's a
They
different.
definitely ask the right people. Though.
Yes,
And-
it's clear. It's clear.
And
Very
from
clear
looking at
that
the chassis, it's
Yes.
also pretty clear that they tried to put out we don't have upgrades for this right now because it doesn't really need it from our.
Oh,
They're putting out something that has everything they want.
speaking of upgrades, toe blocks do not match up with your standard Yokomo toe blocks, so that is out of the question.
They're gonna have to release adjustments.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's
They already have them in plugins. It'll come soon.
so. Like I said, eyes and ears out for like immediate chassis conversions. Not necessarily to change the entire car, but to at least make it more adaptable to what we're used to today.
Yeah, I mean, just from my own first look, like you could make that whole thing a lot lighter.
It's not
By
that heavy.
changing a few things. It's kind of heavy. It's not that heavy. It's kind of like in stock form. It could be lighter.
Oh, man. Now I feel brain scattered So, okay, Kevin's chassis right now has a Brev D ESC, and it has a RSST servo and a Revox gyro. So
Yes.
none of the associated electronics, and that's what you saw driving in that video, and that's why
Yes.
it looks so much cleaner.
Yep. Yeah. Obviously, electronics are extremely important to making a drift car operate in the manner that it should. I think probably for that company, like an ESC and a motor are kind of less important in my eyes than, say, a servo and a gyro. So
I don't think it would take them very long to come up with a firmware upgrade for their Reedy black box or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Like,
Oh, they
kind
have
of what
the
I'm
other
getting at, right? Like, really, all that is required for a drift spec ESC and motor combo is lower Gauss magnet in the motor, and then the access to the tuning of the parameters that we want to see, right? Like, at the end of the day.
as far as the motor goes, they already have it because they have touring car motors too. So like, they're there, right?
Yep.
But what is this rumor about the electronics was reused going to make this drift specific stuff? If it goes, yeah, that's kind of what we heard as well. Is Associated might come down the line with their own electronics.
Someone
Yes.
needs to make a gyro to replace the KO Propo.
That's all you, Justin.
Yes. Yeah.
Associated to make it if I have to, because everyone loves the KO Propo. That's why you never see them on sale.
Yeah.
Because they're discontinued, and everyone who has one's never going to get rid of it.
Yeah. That is true.
And the Futaba is the Futaba, you have to fully invest into it, and it's a lot more complex and difficult to get like a good feel out of it. With the KO Propo style, it's just the 3 dials, and one of the dials is just for servo frequency. The other one you can make as your put on your remote, and the last one is just
DJ.
So it's really easier, but really simple.
Yeah, this always comes up. I just think I think the value of tuning from your transmitter when you can pull off the track is understated. Like,
Yeah,
it's just so much. You're so much more likely to get the full potential out of yourself if it's easier to tune anything, really.
Yep.
It's one of those things that you don't realize that it's very handy until you have it, right? Like, until you play with someone's car or until like you actually have it in your hands. The reality of like the whole Acuvant setup doesn't become a reality until you start using it. Like, sure, we have like wireless Bluetooth programmers and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, it's totally.
It's not
It's a
the
different
same
level. It's not the same. It's really not. I mean, like, we humans are lazy. We're lazy. We want to do always are looking for the shortest path to the goal. And we're also not very persistent. So
yeah,
we will settle a lot of the time. So when, making the aspect of tuning easier is always an advantage. Like, the easier it gets, the easier the aspect of changing parameters gets, the more likely you are to not even more likely, just the closer you will get to the maximum potential, right? So, like, if you have to take your car off the track and plug your servo into a computer versus pulling over in the grass and hitting a few buttons on your transmitter, you're gonna the pull off your track method is probably going to get you a pretty good result, but you're going to get a lot further along with the one that's a little more easy, in my opinion. I think, yeah, it's just a matter of how far do you go. Everyone's patience only goes so far, and I know that because I've been through like a RSST situation. And now, obviously, with the CD700, it's like I quit tuning my RSST way before I quit using it, and now I still will hop into my Futaba, right, and mess with stuff. So it's just, yeah, even a Bluetooth phone app is not going to be better than pulling over and looking down.
Elliot, I think Judd has your Tau. It's either Judd or Jake.
Uh,
No, I think it's probably Judd because Jake
I love
has
the
a Tau
Tau.
too.
I love the Tau.
Sounds like maybe Christian doesn't agree with me. I don't know.
Christian? What?
Dead culture.
Oh.
It's kind of a vague comment, so I can't get a good read on it.
Oh, I think he was talking about the Tau thing, but I'm not too sure. I don't know.
Judd does not
Judd
have the Tau.
definitely doesn't have the Tau. Who knows where I don't have the Tau.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Jake probably has it.
Somebody has it.
We know it's in Portland.
It's in the state.
This is on the same level of me forgetting who had my Yokomo tuner, and it ended up being DJ.
Elliot, it's
Jake
in the
has
state.
his.
It's in northern Oregon, or it could be in southern Washington.
That is worrisome though, because that is not a cheap piece of hardware.
No, we will. We would correct that if it wasn't.
It's been 3.
If we can't find it, we'll correct that for sure.
Hey, going back over to here. Boom.
What are we looking at?
Team AD fan controller.
Fan controller. So why do you need a fan controller?
Okay. So Yokomo ESCs have spoiled those who run Yokomo ESCs because their fans are temperature controlled. So when you start the car, like it'll spin the fan up, but it'll turn off. Or if you just leave your car sitting, it'll turn off automatically.
It'll turn off because the temperature is below the limit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is actually, you can turn it on or off with a switch. Now,
okay,
there is an Amazon product that is only $9 on Amazon, and it does the same exact thing. And it's rated for 4 amps or 8 amps that you can get. This is $19.99, just the controller itself. But with the fan combo, it's only $30 for the fan combo. So take into the fact that a typical fan is about $17 to like $50. So A-Main has the AccuVance Raystorm fan on sale for $50.
Okay.
Blows my mind. Anyways. But yeah, so it kind of equals out like when you're adding a fan into the mix. If you already have a fan. Although the fan might not be controllable. I don't know how this is working either by PWM.
Okay. So I can't imagine a world where I would take over something that is automated in order to do it myself.
So this also has a 1-minute timer if you don't. So it can switch it off too.
I mean, cool.
So I guess the idea
actually, okay. Well, hold on. I will say, well, I don't know how this works. If there is something that, say, like I am driving my car and I park it on the side of the track and it's not moving and it turns the fan off, I'm kind of about that, actually.
Like in the pits or in the lanes for...
Well, so often someone asks me a question and I pull over on the track and I'm thinking about like, oh shit, my fan's running. I'm going to kill my, you know, because that is the way to blow up batteries is to leave your car on the track.
Yeah, in a comp. Just like DJ said, in a comp where you're just chilling.
Yeah. I mean, comps, I always turn my car off.
Yeah, I know.
Well, now you don't have to.
But on a Friday, like if I'm driving and Kevin walks up and asks me some questions, then I might pull over and leave my car on, and then my fan is just running. Obviously, the ESC is not going to shut off because of the fan.
So this has more application than just a fan, though, right? You can put this to a light kit too.
If you're so inclined.
Yeah. So it's just a fun little thing. That's all. I do have 2 ordered, so I'll get to play with those.
Yeah. If my fan's on a temperature control, then I definitely don't care to like manually do that. It's kind of like...
So this is for everyone that doesn't have a Yokomo ESC, right?
Got you.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see it.
Someone actually posted in Roast My Workbench.
I mean, that's a tough one to roast. That looks pretty good.
No, that's clean. That's good.
Cleaner than Justin's. Tell you what.
Yeah, I mean that's a low bar, but yeah.
The Razer Basilisk mouse that he has here is too flat of a profile. I don't like it that much.
There's not a single gaming mouse on the market that I actually like. Besides,
it's a Basilisk. I have the cheap one here. Wait. I have a 502 wireless here.
So yeah. So my favorite mouse is the Myonix original, whatever their original shape is. Is
it like Death Adder design?
No, it's way better than that. It's an.
Can I raise my mic volume? Am I actually quiet? I don't
think so.
I don't feel like it's fine. I can.
But I'm not watching the stream.
Yeah, Justin is only on the call right now.
Yep. Yeah. The Myonix Naus is the NAOS. That's the best shaped mouse that has ever existed. And I wish there was a wireless version, but there's not.
Justin, where have you been?
I have been at home.
There you go.
I'm finally back to work.
Oh, right on.
Oh, that's
Again,
good.
Successfully. So now,
Yeah, nice.
just when I get out of work, it's just I don't feel like driving another hour north for just a few hours
Hmm.
to then drive home and
So you're-
probably be so late that I can't do much before going to bed for the next day.
You're out of the cast and everything?
Oh yeah, I've been out of it.
Nice.
I
Are
just
you-
haven't really felt like doing the drive, or
Yeah.
basically.
Are you going to be down all 3 days for Matsuri?
I'm hoping to come down. I'm hoping/planning to do Saturday, Sunday.
Okay,
Yeah.
right on.
Friday would require getting a day out of it.
Yeah. Friday is understandable. We would really love to have you. I mean, Saturday is like the big day.
That's why I'm trying to do Saturday and Sunday.
Logan,
Sunday
we
is
lost
normally
you.
the cleanest driving. Saturday is normally the biggest day.
Oh,
I accidentally left the call.
yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, if you need a place to crash, we can find it. Hopefully you can come Saturday.
Yeah.
It's definitely the good day to come.
Yeah.
I would love to get, obviously, Adam's coming, your teammate, and
Oh no,
Be
yeah,
nice
I
to
have
get-
to go.
yeah, be nice to get some of the other RCO people and all that stuff. Obviously, like I said, I know it's short notice.
It's fine. Like, we'll take what we learned this year and then we'll be able to apply it.
Yeah, I think it's good because I think if we announced this like 5 months ago, it would probably end up being way too big of an event for us to like learn how to do it.
I
You know what
don't
I mean?
think no.
I think so.
I don't think so. No, I really don't. Like, as far as like Matsuri's type of event, I think that's pretty easy to manage. Getting everybody in and then keeping everybody entertained, sure. Because you can only drift so much, in my opinion. I know
Well,
it sounds very contradiction, like
You know what the title of this event is, right?
yeah, and I think
I know people who can go for
Can-
a while.
can we have Liquid Death sponsor it, please?
And,
Because at
We
least it
probably
makes
can,
sense.
actually. That's probably on the table,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I mean, and hey, through like at like Worlds or like and the SDC finals and at Super G, I'll drive a lot every day through the week.
Yeah. And this
Because
is
when
just
there's a lot of good drivers in one place, it gets a lot of fun.
the scheduling of this event being in August, the end of August, is not specifically intentional, but I do think it ends up working pretty well long term because it is a period where, we have a little more than a month until Worlds, what will be Worlds from now on, right? And then it's also like most of the regions are pretty much done by that time, by August 23rd. So it's like, I think it is a good timing of an event where
August
people are
25th.
like over competing and can
It's
come.
24th, 25th, right?
Yeah.
23rd,
Okay.
24th, 25th.
All right, I'll be missing the last round of Washington SDC 2.
Oh no.
No,
Oh
well,
no, I've
yeah, we
missed
heard.
like the last 2 or 3.
well, that's
Yeah.
okay. You're already qualified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We did. We that was obviously that was taken into consideration. I think you guys are having that round just kind of as a makeup round, anyways. So it was a little easier for us to schedule that way. But when we're doing an event like this, we are working around a lot of schedules,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
we
I
made a
know-
lot of compromises. And
I
this
know
is
it's
just the
all
best
from
date
the-
we could come up with.
trying
to do
get
it this
votes
year.
for Dory Lounge in Florida.
Yeah.
The struggle.
For anyone that's wondering, this is how you identify an Elliott car.
Mm,
Like, on point stance, crazy camber. Love you, Elliott.
I will say I drove Judd's LP86 last night a lot, and that thing's awesome.
Was it your first one?
Yeah, Yeah, it was probably my first time driving one.
It's
It was
different.
it was fun. It was kind of. It's not as much what I was hoping for, but it is pretty close. Like you do have to wring the thing's neck to get it around our track, and that is what I was looking for. I want it to be hard to link the whole track, and that wasn't quite there, but it was close enough. Like it was enjoyable for sure.
Now, Elliot has actually done something very interesting on here.
Yeah, Elliot is definitely a pioneer in the LP86 world.
He has chassis bracing, so it doesn't just fold up like a taco.
Like a taco, yeah.
Yeah,
It's already spaced off everything with the standoffs and different shock. And Elliot's definitely the experimenter in our group.
One of the many. One of the many.
And price suspension.
And then this, I don't know if I'm seeing this right. Does he have tires on like inch down wheels and tires?
Oh, that's a scale dynamic.
Oh, okay.
Like it's a thing.
Yeah, okay. All right. I was like, it's sick, but it's throwing me for a loop.
So I'm working my way backwards in the roast my rig place. This was a reminder from yesterday. It's not a drift car, but
Nah.
this is the car that caught on fire the other day.
Damn.
So the Racer Bros got a nice talking to as far as using lipo bags. Although this wasn't in a lipo bag, so clearly. I mean, what do you think, DJ? Is it because they charge at 40 amps?
Was
I
it
mean,
charging?
yeah, it's probably like some of those guys are pretty gnarly on their batteries, and if they're not, careful with their batteries when they start seeing them puff and, getting new ones, then bad things will happen. And what's 50 cents? Like I went and recycled my batteries at Batteries Plus for 50 cents for 2 batteries, and
So I think
out of
that
my hair.
that right there is the idea of just not knowing. So you said Batteries Plus.
Yep, Batteries Plus. So Batteries Plus bulbs, whatever. They recycle batteries, light bulbs, just pretty much anything, electronics wise. And there will be a slight fee, but for our RC batteries, they're so small that they can barely charge you. So they just charged me 50 cents for 2 batteries. And now they're in their hands.
Right. Yeah, because I think it comes down to the idea of just not knowing, and just people like, oh, what do? We just throw it away or do whatever, right?
Salt bath is what I've always done.
Yep. So what is it? You just throw it in a salt bath for like 24 hours?
24 hours or so, and that's it. Well, I've left one in there for a long time because I put in so much salt it was making crystals, so I just let it go.
Is there any way we can turn Justin up?
If he got a better microphone.
I also just have a quiet voice today, or can get closer to it. Slash, I have a fan running, so that's probably muffling it.
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, what do we got here? SKZ, GRK, MC1. What is that? Oh, RDX.
RCO, yeah.
With the caster plate. I think I just got underwhelmed or burnt out from waiting for the caster plate to come out. So once it did, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm done with it.
Mm.
My camera's on autofocus. I can hear it. It's annoying the crap out of me. Love it. Yes, I decided to just randomly jump into roast my rig.
Hmm.
Well, first started with the Traxxas car, so
Yeah. Oh, so is
Oh,
this?
we didn't do the quick take on the Traxxas car like we did the DC-10.
Oh, 5
I would
words.
do that.
5 words or less.
Yeah, 5 words or less, but also you're probably gonna go 50 or to 100 words. All right, DJ, let's try to keep it. Let's keep it 10 words or less.
gosh.
Traxxas drift car.
Basher life.
That's 2 words. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay, Adam,
Hot take.
that's 2 words.
That's gonna be a hot take.
That's
What about
it?
you, Logan? You
That was
forgot
it?
yourself. Yeah, that was it.
Hot take?
Hot take.
Oh my god, that's so bad. All right, Justin.
I guess. Why not?
He said, I guess. I don't know. So
Sure,
yeah,
why
I guess we could have made the challenge 5 words less. My words are landmine question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see. Time will
CEO
tell.
of Slow. How is the DC-10? We kind of talked about it a bit earlier.
Yeah.
It's still on the chopping block. We'll say that.
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be.
So,
pretty.
I mean, I think we can legitimately answer like DC-10 versus RDX. The DC-10 is more
need-
adjustable, right,
need
than
work.
the RDX out of the box. But RDX out of the box is probably going to drive better. But
Yeah.
you would then, in order to change anything, you would then have to buy stuff, right? So
Yeah, RDX comes with a very good built-in tune, but you gotta buy more shit to tune it. DC-10 comes with a lot of adjustability, but
Yes.
you gotta tune it yourself.
which is the same thing. But I mean, I think that's a testament, right? Because that's the same thing we would say about RDX versus RD2 or even an MST kit. Like,
Yep.
kind of shows you.
Very much so.
Sounds like, by the way, it sounds like Brian has the towel. Just to announce to the chat that we have resolved
What?
this
Yeah.
mystery.
Which Brian?
Jose,
Oh,
who has retired from RC drifting. So
Yeah.
good luck, Elliot, getting that back.
no, he's still active in the chat though. In other chat. You just need to post like a Glock or something like that.
Yeah, he did just turn 21, so he's all hyped on his new status.
Bang bang.
Yeah, it's like he posted his, and then I saw like 3 more get posted.
The guns went off for sure.
Too bad I was
Oh,
at
yeah.
work.
Dead Culture raises a very good question. We haven't really talked about cross games at all.
Yes, we
Those
have.
are the exact same rules that I used to run back in Florida for many years. I prefer it that way, where it's more a focus on being a smooth and just good run, over being like a very precise in the zones kind of run.
Yeah. Okay.
The zones are more of a bonus, but a focus on being like smooth instead. And same for the chase. And also like same thing. We allow bumps here and there. They're a deduction, not an instant loss.
Yeah. I think for me, cross games might be a little too far in that direction, because I think a lot of people after the first round of qualifying of cross games, I think that there was a lot of very confused people.
Yep. How they run qualifying.
They were just like, what in the hell just happened?
I have battled Rio twice. Yeah. I've driven against him a lot before, and I battled him in 2018. In 2018, I got beat pretty bad. I was not as good then. 2019, I was more comparable, but he'd still beat me. I'm 90% sure he still would. He's just absolutely fucking amazing. His chases are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a better chase driver than him anywhere in the world.
I think Justin, even when you were on the show as straight up just a guess, you even said that Rio was your favorite person to drive with.
Yeah, he's who I think is the best driver in the world. I mean, if you just watch his battle against him and pretty much anyone else, and watch him against Alfredo,
yeah,
he just makes it everyone look like they're leagues beneath him. Because him and Little Hayato at Worlds every year, it was just those two in the finals because they just were leagues above everyone else.
Yep. Yeah, it's right. It's very obvious when someone in the lead is dominant. It's like you can just see it. You can see it happen right in front of you.
Yeah, just watch his runs against anyone. He destroys them on the chase. There's no chance.
I think from what I saw for Overdose, like I said, the qualifying was a little confusing, and I think a lot of people, I think we should keep it real. Like that event in general, Overdose Games, is heavily weighted towards the Japanese drivers or the visiting drivers, right? Like I don't think there's really an argument against that because it's their judges setting up the track. It's their rule set that they're used to driving. It is, similar surface and tire that they're driving on. Not that people at Super G aren't used to that, but just there's definitely a few more things like more in their favor. But that said, I think definitely watching the qualifying rounds, it was like heavily like a lot of people were like, okay, maybe people didn't really understand what was expected of them.
But now they know.
Now they know. But it was good.
Rio has big wang energy.
I do agree. I think we talked about all this last week too, but I do agree. I think Super G rules are a little too
Strict.
harsh, I would say, or specific.
Super G has gone the route of being super strict so that you can't argue against the calls or anything.
Yep. That
it's very specific. But I still prefer the way that I did it in Florida, where it was more loose and focusing on having a smooth run.
Like
I've drifted too.
Having done a bunch of weekly Tandem Tuesday events and all the events that we've done, I've seen many runs where someone lost because of the rule set when I didn't necessarily think that they were the worst of the two drifters. Like plenty of times where I watch a battle and I'm like, this guy is definitely the better drifter of the two people that were in this battle, but he violated this one rule, so we have to he's out. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like if we know who's the best drifter, then that person should move on. But obviously it's hard to make a rule set that really works for that.
And I don't really agree with like every tiny tap or hit is instantly a 0. But also I'd understand writing that rule in because you can't.
Yeah. And I think that's
for like this much
part of it. Part of it too is I think if you read the rules for Super G, it kind of allows for more. It's all up to interpretation, right? Like to me, it reads like it allows a little bit of touching and bumping and rubbing, but from what I've watched, the way it's enforced, the way the rules are enforced, are much more stringent than it's described.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like the if you read the rules, it's like, yeah, you can touch stuff. I mean, touching a wall is actually cool.
Yeah.
But then the way that the rules are actually enforced is like much more strict than the rules describe. Elliot is right. Judging is just hard. It simply is hard. You're never going to make everybody happy.
Every judge has their own bias and what they want to see.
everyone has their own opinion, everyone has their own bias, everyone has their own flaws. Watching a battle and remembering every detail of it is very difficult, if not impossible.
It is difficult personally when I'm doing it. I just remember, all right, I thought this person did better. And I have like these 2 key points on why I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then anything after that would come down to video footage.
Yeah, I that's where I kind of I diverge from Elliot in that way, and that I think reviewing video footage is probably almost mandatory, just to make sure that you didn't miss anything. I mean, I can count on, it would take both of my hands to count battles where I was like, oh no, that was great, that went to this one guy. And then it's like I go back and look at it and he was 2 off or he touched a wall. It's like, yeah, I make that kind of mistake all the time. So having a video to like, even when we do little Tandem Tuesday events, I'm like, let me just watch the run back to make sure that nobody went 2 off or something like that. And I didn't catch it because I miss that kind of stuff all the time.
And even still then, like, the video is still perspective based, right? Because you are only sitting in that zone.
Yeah, you can't always see everything from one angle, right? Obviously, our goal would be to have a bunch of top-down, as is common in FD now, right? Like, you're going to have direct top-down footage. That's obviously ideal.
DJ, you need to make your sticker, and then you need to have, like, a secret handshake or something, a secret gesture that you need to do to be able to get the sticker.
We got a fan base.
SGC rules, I can't say I'm not a fan of them. I just prefer if they were a little less allowed for little bumps and scrapes.
Yeah. I think if you're paying attention, it's I think most of us have heard your opinion on the SDC rules. We've seen we've seen some interviews, right, with you after, because you've obviously come second in the last 2 years, right? So I think I already kind of knew that you weren't like super excited about the rule set.
In 2022, it was before they added any contact counts. They still said if contact doesn't affect the lead car, it's okay. But then that year, he braked. There was a moment where he tapped the brake in the wrong place, and I bounced off him. But because I hit him, his car didn't actually change in speed, but I bounced back like 3 car lengths. That contact didn't count because his car didn't move. But another contact, which was on my fault, which was tiny, did count.
Yeah.
So then after that year, they did all contact counting.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, and this starts to get into my own personal experience, because I've had a few rounds where I have been contacted, and it just, like, I've been contacted on the front wheel, and it just so happened to not really affect my car, versus I have contacted people in worse situations for sure, but like it was like it was just in a spot that putting blame on it is very challenging. Yeah. And that has affected me. So yeah, I agree with you. Like it is the rules that are in place for contact of cars is tough. It's tough. It's not, in my opinion, it's not serving the purpose that is intended, which is find the best drifter in this battle. It doesn't seem like that's really the outcome a lot of the time right now.
Especially when everything has to be so subjective and scored to the points, right?
It is hard. I understand having a very tight rule set, obviously, because as I've said multiple times, judging is very difficult. So it's a lot easier when you can just be like, here's the rule, you broke it, you're done. You know what I mean?
And when you're trying to set like a standard for like a large area like America, like US, it's easier to just set that hard line rule that says any contact bad. Because if you say some contact is okay, that's extremely subjective.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's going to change per area. So then every area, someone's going to come in and be like, well, back home, that contact would be okay. So I'm out for it.
Well, and then already, like, if you have a good lead and a good chase, then everything is still subjective. Like,
yes, it's all a gray area. That's the core.
It does take out a gray area. I understand that.
That's the core thing, right? Like, ultimately, judging as in drift it's a relative, decision, right? Like, it's not defined, it's not perfect, it's opinion.
So,
and believe it or not, we all don't fall on the same line of opinion on everything. So obviously there will be calls that don't go your way. There will be calls that do go your way, even if you didn't think they should have. I think it's a good lesson for anyone in the sport, at least doing it competitively. Like, this is part of the game.
Corey
You're
Galliano
not going
says,
to win every battle that you think you should have won. It just is part of the game. Get used to it. I think and honestly, I think that makes us learning to understand that makes you a better person. Really, I think in life, life is just not fair. So
and if it frustrates you, just get better so that you'll just have to go your way.
Yeah.
Okay,
just keep doing you, man.
Not to be the nanny, but let's leave the competition chat. Like, because I know we get stuck on it and then we dwell on it, and it's already almost 11. So yeah, sorry guys. I don't mean
that's
to
a
cut
good
you
question
off.
we just got though.
Yeah.
Is it really only worth getting a drift build if you could have your own track or go to a local one?
I battled with that myself for a long time. I was about to buy like a Sprint, but then it was like the realization of like, where am I going to drive this thing?
And yeah, like, you got what you got. Well, no, because you got your YD2ZX before PDX, right?
Yes, I bought a Z before PDX existed, but it was because, so I've been wanting to get into RC Drift for 10 years, but it was always a situation where like I could buy this thing and where am I going to actually drive it? And I knew from video games that driving by yourself would get very boring and you wouldn't really want to do it anymore. So it was like always a situation of like, yeah, I can buy this chassis and then I can drive it by myself and then I'm going to get bored and not like it. So when I got my Z, it was a situation where we had at where I work, I got 3 or 4 people to get into it and we had a space. And it just so happened that PDX opened around the same time. So yeah, I think for Corey, my answer to that is if you have a place to drive, then it is worth it. If you don't have a place to drive, more importantly, if you don't have people to drive with, then it is not worth it.
Or you pull the Brett card and you make your own place.
Or you pull the Brett card and you buy a commercial space and make your own track.
Yeah, drifting as it is. Was it a Seto that you were talking about, Logan?
Oh, no. I've been drifting in video games since Forza 2, I think.
Drifting in a Seto by yourself is very... I think I drift for like 15 laps and I'm like, I'm done.
I tried to learn it, right? Like, you figure it out, right? And then it's like, okay, this is pointless. Also, I want to shout out Bart. I really appreciate that comment.
Corey, if you can go to Super G, that'd be fantastic and probably the best thing you could possibly do.
He said there's a place called Super G by me. Sorry, Corey. That's hilarious. That's a hilarious comment. Corey, near you is the
Drift Mecca.
ultimate drift track, probably in the world. I'll say that. Yeah, you should definitely go there.
At least in the U.S.
Yeah,
In the
US
world,
for sure.
I mean, even in the
no.
Yatabe Arena.
Yeah,
yes, Corey, you should go there.
you can talk to Sean too. He's there.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people in this chat that drive there regularly, so
So that's the place, huh? I went there once.
it's very
like 10 years
different
ago.
than 10 years ago. Much larger.
Yeah. 10 years ago, they probably would have been the Miata shop still, huh?
Yeah.
What is this?
They've since you went there 10 years ago, they've since bought 3 new suites in that complex.
David asks, "Hey dudes, quick question. Which adjustable wheelbase chassis should I get for my Shark? Currently running a Hydroflex. If you want adjustable wheelbase, then the original adjustable wheelbase for the Shark." Like,
Yeah. I'm actually surprised to hear David asking that question of us because I feel like he knows as well as we do.
No.
He said no.
No.
Yeah, that thing is chunky. That original Shark deck is very chunky.
But you're asking that chassis to do a lot more than just one chassis design, right?
Yeah.
It's going from 240 to 275 millimeters for wheelbase. So it's got to have that extra reinforcement. Because they sold it and marketed it as like an adjustable flex chassis too, which if you take like the wing nuts, like the wing mounting points to it, it feels like junk. So no point in doing that. But yeah,
Is DJ about to fall asleep or?
Oh, dude, it was a rough day at work today.
more
Is
people
the
in
busher
bikes.
there or is the AC
No,
on or?
It was the lady. It was the lady needing a bike.
Oh, dude, I've got some guy who needs 15 bikes built.
Hey, David, if for what it's worth, we're all like, no matter how many years that you're in this hobby, you're always going to be learning something. And at the point that you decide that you don't need to learn anything new, that's bad.
It's like
But-
I have to remind the viewers that I've only been doing this for like a year and 4 months. I don't know what I'm talking about at all.
How long have you been doing it, Adam?
You know how the like different companies have like, we have a total workforce of work experience of so many years. So let's see, that would put me, you and DJ at what?
Me and DJ are about the same start point.
So like 2 years.
Not even 2 years.
So like total
Oh.
experience in RC drift would be
Yeah, like it's
Like
a rough
16
one for
years.
me. Because like I went to Northwest like October 2022, but then didn't really start at PDX until 23. So
I mean, I would still technically qualify myself as very new to moderate. Because
No, Adam, you're ancient.
I
How many
like
years
in
have you
terms of
been doing
years,
it,
sure. But
Justin is also ancient.
Adam?
but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, so like YD2 plus, FXX, YD2 plus, RMX original, right? Those are the times where I was like, oh, okay, cool, let's do this thing, but still knew nothing. And then
Yeah,
I took a
I just feel
hiatus.
like with where the sport is at, if you've done anything, if you were here before rear wheel drive gyro, then that's OG,
Right.
because that's a
What I-
totally different.
I came in right when CS ended and real drive started. Yeah, that's-
right? FXX was.
It was new when I got it.
Yeah. And the only reason I had bought one was because it was front motor, rear wheel drive, shaft driven. Because all the mechanics were technically right. Anyway. So it is that time, y'all. I think we've had a really good stream tonight.
It was a really good stream for having not really a guest and then having Justin on. Great stream.
And I know that in Discord, all of the topics have kind of been convoluted to like just mass oblivion. So if you do have any comments or any topic ideas or anything like that, like make it in bold now. That way we can watch it. And we'll finish with this. Hey, Logan, watch your mouth. I used to walk uphill to the school 4 feet of snow.
And I bet you carried your sister, and I bet...
And every single time I hear this, I only think of emotional damage.
Yeah, that's an inside joke. If you've been paying attention to the drift community on Facebook, then you would get it.
Oh my gosh, drift community.
I will say,
Chill out.
I think I handled that comment in the most adult way out of everybody else on that group. So I am proud of myself for that. But
All right.
yeah, that was awful. That we all know what we're talking about. That was the worst take I've ever heard in my life.
Anyways, if you made it this far, like, share, subscribe, or like, subscribe, share, whichever way you want to do that. Channel's still growing, so we're getting there. Next week, announcements. We should have done this at the beginning. I know I hinted at it, but never officially said it. Next week is our first stream on Thursday. So we will be streaming.
Yeah, big change actually.
Yeah.
We should be making more of a deal of this than we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna go to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. This will result in a much more reasonable time for us. Obviously, I think the viewership could be better because most people are, guess what, at the drift track on Saturdays.
Not today.
Not today. And we would like to be too. And we also would like to not have commitments every weekend. So, yeah, I think it's a good change. I think, Adam, we really need to stick to the time limit of 2 hours.
I mean, that's your problem. I don't work the next day. But yes, we'll try to stick to 2 hours. It'll make for a tight show, like with the current pace that we take things at, but I think it'll be a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly, David. Exactly. My point. Every track owner we've interviewed is at the track on Saturday. Imagine if we did a show on a day that they weren't open.
No. Anyways, okay, you guys. I'm gonna hit the button.
Later, everyone.
Take care.
Love you
Take it
guys.
easy.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Later.